No.
Hello everyone and welcome to Ready City Crit. I am your Dungeon Master, Harna, and today I'm joined by my usual Reaper rolling bunch. So let's roll around and run through who we have today. Let's start off with someone directly below me. Let's see if she can work out who that is.
That sounds a little weird. But I don't like how that
That's
sounds.
a 50-50 chance right there.
It's you. I know it's you. Which is even weirder, honestly.
I'm talking about the reference of the camera positioning on the stream.
I'm just saying.
It's.
Her
I'll put it this way:
boyfriend
it's
is
not
right
George.
there. I don't know where he is on the screen to point to him.
George,
I'm below you.
I've
Yeah.
got that way.
No,
No,
Anthony.
You're below Mary.
You're below Mary.
Sorry, that way.
on mine it goes Harry, Mary, Will,
No, like on the
Anthony,
actual
George,
Twitch,
me.
On the
Your
actual
On the
Twitch
boyfriend-
stream.
actual Twitch stream, yeah.
It's there. Yes.
It's like, I mean, they can't even see your fucking arms, George, because they vanish into your green screen. So, like,
you're
you're pointing like that.
Okay. I don't know where I am. I haven't seen the stream yet.
Same.
Listening to my voice.
So-
We've
Let's
got
try that
one
again.
bit
Let's
so
start
far.
with the person directly below me.
You're the one who started it making it confusing.
I was deliberately making it confusing.
Go, Mary, go.
Somebody just wing it.
Okay. Hi, I'm Mary, and I play Astra, the cleric.
Now you have to throw it to someone.
Go for George.
Hi, I am George. I am playing Atlas Moreau, the Owlin Druid, and to Will.
I am Will. I'm playing the Volgear, the Ranger, Dwarf Ranger. Anthony, off to you.
Hi, I'm Anthony. I'm playing Beros Darkfoot, a Satyr rogue. Last but not least, Ryan.
Hello, I am Ryan, and I am playing Cyrus Revenmar, the ASMR Barbarian. Back to you, Harna, in the studio.
Oh, it's like a weather report. Shit.
Also, judging by what's going on behind you, that is... it's a tragedy, honestly.
Don't you need like 7 weather reports, Harry?
And the weather on this planet, that planet, the other side of the other planet.
Let's not touch on the weather on every planet and every continent on there. It's too much.
And-
Bring
As
up the
everyone-
world anvil!
When we were
and
last
and as-
slapping off thing.
You started this, Harry.
Atlas, take it away.
I have to do it on my phone this time, because I didn't have time to write it out by hand.
Boo.
It's fuck you, Ryan. You want to do the recap? You want to do the recap?
I got my journal up, just in case.
Okay, so, when we last left off, my intuition was, as usual, correct. The magic shop was in the process of being ransacked, the owner held hostage. My companions aren't as stealthy as myself, and in full honesty, I also wasn't as stealthy as myself. I jumped into the thick of it, and my bravery was rewarded with a cone of fire that nearly cooked me like a goose. Luckily, Astra, see companion page 1, was quick to heal me up, and the attackers met their untimely end. I questioned the owner, an elderly elf by the name of Roland Suthrasis. Although suspicious of me, he did tell us that they were looking for a wand of secrets, amongst other things, and that he had gravely wounded a member of an earlier group. The party split. The men went off to chase, while Astra and I stayed behind to see if we could learn any more. We learned very little beyond the fact that the old elf is pretty racist. Before Cyrus, companion page 3, returned to let us know they found a trail. The trail led us to the Cathedral of Sapana. My father would probably find that funny. We found a priest, Treki Osteroth, who let us know he healed the elf best he could before his companions said they were taking him home. However, searching the cathedral, we found, eventually, a mysterious passage. A young elf threatened us on the way down, only to be quickly dispatched by Volgear, companion page 4. A shame, she was only young. Inside the rooms below the cathedral, we found plans of another attack, although we have yet to fully decipher them. We also found a wounded elf, talking nonsense, half-mad with pain and poison. Cyrus surprisingly healed him, but the poison seemed to be taking more than we could give, and with no way to remove it, we left the secret room, and contacted the Sheriff Aloro in hopes of getting him help.
And that is pretty much exactly where we pick up. You are all currently stood You're all currently stood outside the cathedral itself. It is about mid-afternoon. after you're sleuthing around. A little touch up of things that we missed there. Cyrus failed all 3 of his checks in the group check abilities. So that was good to know.
Alice
only
Alice
good at-
missed that, so she couldn't refer to it.
I'm only good at a few things, one of them being athletics, and for some reason my dice rolled poorly.
We all honestly, I
Blame
was
the
watching.
dice.
I was watching our thing back to make notes, and apart from one time I rolled an 18, I did not roll higher than a 12 for 3 hours straight.
I think I was consistently at like 12 or 14. I don't think I got much higher than that until we
I
got
think-
to the cathedral.
Is
Like, you
there a
can
way of
see our
changing your
rolls
dice?
here. It's real
You
sad.
need different dice
Alright.
sets.
There is, I do it quite frequently.
Like Volgir's gonna be like, I'll make an athletics chest. Please don't make an athletics check. It's all I have.
And then I'm gonna make an athletics check. Never mind.
Fails.
Regardless, this maddened member of the
But
organization.
also, we hogtied this guy. I
Yeah.
didn't write that because
Yes.
I feel like it looks bad on us.
Just up on the shoulder.
He was restrained and he was handed over to the Pegasonites. And you were currently dealing with Sergeant Carbonacle.
I thought he was Pimpernel.
Pimpernacle, sorry, my notes were loose.
I think I called him Pepper.
It's bad when the players'
I
notes
just
are
remember
better
it was
than the
Pimper
DMs.
something.
Why make you make notes?
Windaloo.
Yes, you're currently in the Lunar Square, and they've got this guy under kind of like arrest now. You also did find some plans for seemed to be an attack on a cluster of buildings in the Sun Isle, and some strange subterranean tunnels. And as you were kind of dealing with Sergeant Pimpernacle, you heard the sheriff's voice broadcast over his hollow strap. Well, when you find them, let me know what they have to say. And then he kind of just like looks up, and goes, maybe we should do this off the streets then. Alright, let's go. And you watch as he presses a few buttons on his hollow strap, and one of the nearby horseless carriages hums to life, and the side door opens much like a DeLorean up to the side, with a little small foot ramp coming down below the halfway point onto the curb, and he climbs up into the rear of the vehicle, which is kind of laid out with two benches of seats like facing each other inward. There doesn't appear to be any obvious, like, the best way to describe it is, imagine if you took like a black cab and you chop the bit where the driver sits off completely. There's a window at the front, there's doors at the sides, and there's chairs facing each other, but there's no apparent like driver in this thing.
I lean over to whoever is standing next to me, it does not matter, and just mutter, this is where we're taken to a second location and killed. I don't care who's next to me to hear that.
I feel like Ash just like, please don't put that thought into my head.
Ladies first.
You step in,
Yeah, I'm a lady.
Yeah.
step inside. Do all of you enter the vehicle?
Sure.
Yeah.
I have no hesitations.
As you step inside, you watch as
Mild hesitations.
Sergeant Pimpernacle press the number button on his hollow strap, and the door swings shut, closes, and you hear the tss of the locks engaging. You then hear the trundling of the wheels as they begin to move, as the vehicle seems to be following either a set path, but as it's moving, you watch as they are looking down at their hollow strap, and there appears to be a projection of the up ahead, and they almost just draw like a route, and then the vehicle begins following that route for them.
That is fun.
Autopiloting itself. Luckily, the streets aren't overly busy. People tend to stay off the roads because these vehicles always seem to have right of way.
The second the vehicle
Fancy.
starts moving, Atlas just turns like her entire head, so the mask just turns slowly towards Astra, just like. Then
Ash just,
turns
like-
back.
I think Ash is gonna like fidget and just get really like as small as she can for no apparent reason. Just like, don't stop it.
You probably like maybe these vehicles are self carriages. You would have probably encountered them before, especially because a lot of you have traveled quite a long distance. They are fairly they are not as primitive as say a horse and cart, but they're definitely not the most advanced piece of technology that a lot of you have encountered, especially when you've seen Tevs and things like that. Yeah, this self carriage appears to be taking you on a route, and based on the projection that you saw, it's taking you off the Moon Isle. It's taking you over towards the Water Isle.
Ooh, we've not been there yet. Maybe we're getting taken
We
off
have
whatever
not.
this is, or whatever that is. I can't click on them because it's just a still image.
If you want to use the interactive map, you need to go to the
Just an undisclosed location.
I'm gonna say
where
this little
possible
scales
murderings
one
might
is like a
happen.
courthouse, because that's what my brain is doing.
That, or it's the police station, the guard tower.
Stop fighting!
Stop yelling at your guinea pigs.
Stop it.
So mean to them.
They're not my guinea pigs.
Stop yelling at your children.
They're not my children. They're
Um,
foster children.
regardless. Yeah, so after about probably 10 minutes of traveling, and you can see through the windows of this vehicle. It's not like you're isolated, you see the streets kind of rolling past. And eventually you find yourselves pulling up to a kind of nice, probably near the central area of this island. You
Kinda
can
like waterfall, maybe? Rainbow cloud? I can't tell what it is.
yeah, you'd be next to a silly park, which is like this beautiful, tranquil park. It has a large, like actual, almost perpetual geyser that rises up from the middle, and then like forms. It looks like there've been rocks and things placed in strategic ways to turn it into like a little elf-made waterfall that constantly runs, and it provides the fresh drinking water for the entire city. And from those actual natural kind of off-runnings of the waterfall itself that kind of falls around in the 360 arc from the geyser.
Wait, it's a geyser? Aren't we floating in the sky?
Yep.
It's magically
That feels
enchanted.
suspicious.
It's magical.
But from there, the water is actually being like, so if you kind of imagine it's like rolling down these rocks and stuff, and every now and again in certain areas, aqueducts are connecting up with the natural rock that was probably placed deliberately, and then ushering it away, and it's running the water. It provides water. This park provides water for the entire city.
I was expecting you to say that the aqueduct lead into the top of the waterfall, and it's just a waterfall of sewage.
No.
Mm.
No, lush trees and beautiful flower beds. It's a lovely place.
Yeah, waterfall
no
of sewage is more like
you would
my
still have
planet's
lush
thing.
flower beds because it would be fertilizer.
The sewage, actually, for your intrigue, whenever you are over large stretches of the ocean, heavy reserve tanks are opened, and you just fucking drop that shit down.
Note to self,
like an
do not
airplane.
sail in those oceans.
Yeah.
Note to self: don't
Look
sail under this
It's
island.
a shit
Note to self, just
storm.
look up.
Yeah, please continue.
But you see travel around.
It's that brown cloud moving towards me.
You travel around in
Bad
Sunny
day to
Park,
be a
kind of to
sailor.
the far northwestern side, and you find yourselves stopping outside one of the guard barracks. Sergeant Pimmerknuckle gets out, the door swinging open, steps out on the street, and he begins moving up the stairs into the guardhouse itself.
Follow.
I'll follow him.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
good.
Lovely.
So,
You move up the stairs, through the doors, and you find yourself in a. Although it is a guard barracks, it seems to also front as a more casual police station as well. So there's a little desk as you come in, and there are several doors in the back areas. Pimmerknuckle actually leads you up the interior stairwell to what seems to be a set of offices, and then he takes you to the first office on the right, which appears to be his office. It's fairly cluttered in here. You see maps of the city, various just like, very much not like, I want to say, conspiracy theorists like red string everywhere, but there's definitely a connotation of areas on the map that are marked with pins of with notes of like dates and like maybe a crime reference number and things like that, like almost like a crime log of the city. Primarily focusing on the Water Isle. This seems to be the main guard barracks of this particular island. So they kind of head up most of the general policing and security here across the board. Obviously, being a Sky City, a city guard would primarily function as a defensive force. However, with the natural defenses they have, most of the duties taken on by the Pegasus Knights and the city guard in general tend to simply be just menial policing tasks, making sure no crimes are being committed and almost protecting the city from interior threat rather than exterior.
We have to protect the city from itself.
Exactly. He sits himself down at his desk and gestures. There's a few chairs here, probably not enough for all of you, but there's enough space for everyone to have a perch on, either like lean up against a bookshelf, up against the wall, things like that. And he produces a little pen and like parchment, and begins making some notes, just kind of going through and be like, right, so we've taken that elf that you had into custody. He'll be held in one of our jails below.
Just so you know, if you don't keep healing him, he's just gonna die.
Right, I'll have...
He's been poisoned.
Don't worry. I'll reach out and see if we can't find a way to get that dealt with anyway. The sheriff is busy at the moment, otherwise she would be meeting us here. I was expecting her to actually be here already, but it seems like that is not happening. Is there anything else, information you gathered up that would be useful for us to know? She made a brief note on your file you were helping out with this ongoing threat.
Well, I do believe that we found a series of tunnels under the city, as well as a
I
potential
just didn't know.
security threat.
That's why I was like, can we tell him all
We are
this stuff?
helping with this investigation.
Yeah, just...
There seems to be some sort of plot that will result in a final attack,
Somebody took a map.
or
Who took the map?
Volgir, I believe, had the map.
Okay, the map.
I opened up the map.
Presenteth.
He looks at it. What map are you showing him? Are you showing him the map with the plans on it, or the map with like the attack plans, or the map with the
Did
what
anybody
you guys
take-
summarized to be subterranean?
Did anybody take the Elven map?
Which one?
The battle plan map?
I thought we just took
The-
everything.
Okay,
Yeah,
if
I
we
thought
took
we
everything,
took
then yeah.
Yeah.
Who read it?
I think me and Volgair read it, because we...
I don't speak out.
the other ones.
Yeah. You might have the attack map. I have the subterranean tunnels map.
Yep. So you shoot some tunnels, and the guard kind of like cuts and goes like, "Well, this is all. These aren't actually the streets. These are the mage tunnels. They're kind of like maintenance tunnels, I guess you could say. They basically are connected to the city's engines and a few other arcane devices. They run in parallel to the actual Undercity itself. Although you can get under there, those streets down below never actually connect up to these ones. They're more protected, and their locations are supposed to be secret. So if those plans have gotten out, that is a problem.
Volga will just suddenly slide that back into his thing, and this will be handy for later.
Luckily, there doesn't seem any notes of the street level access to those tunnels. But I guess if you had enough time or know-how, you could probably try to cave your way in.
Volga, you don't know of the accesses, and just like getting a pen and pencil out to mark on the map.
Who would know about those? Nothing.
All right, and this other one is looks at the other one. Oh, that is not at all. This appears to be some kind of planned attack on the... looks like on the council buildings.
Yeah, well, the elf boy, Finisar, I think his name was.
Sarah, I think.
Finisar. He kept talking about some woman, Annalyn. Said that
I mean, it could
they were
be a
coming
man.
back.
Elf names are kind of...
I thought he said she, but maybe I'm misremembering. He said basically she was a part of the organization, and their plans were going to kill everyone,
And that they would
or
not
at least
be
result in
coming
the
back.
death of many.
Okay, that's not good at all. This plan here, it points to the ones of the buildings. There's no timestamps, so it's assumed whatever the timings with this were probably verbally confirmed, which is not good at all. But it looks like they're planning on destroying the walls on the north and west side. But once inside, it's not very clear what the plan is beyond that. It's going to be more focusing on getting there. And it does refer to that as phase 1. It doesn't say how many phases there are.
How does the city float?
There are, I mean, I don't really know the ins and outs. It's not a mage, it's just a sergeant. But there are, like, big engines below that give uplift to the city.
It seems that the Dryad tier want the city to not be floating anymore, so my assumption would be that that would be what they were trying to attack.
Maybe. Even if they could get into the tunnels, they're heavily guarded and secure. You can imagine things that would put the city at risk are the number one priority. The problem is, if they're going for the council buildings, it does call in an issue of the people who have access to those areas and overrides to the locking mechanisms would be the high members of the council.
Well, our investigation of the enchantment shop said that they were specifically looking for a wand of secrets. Something that could open up hidden doors.
I don't know much about the underground. Unfortunately, it's not my department, but it would make sense. I'd imagine if you're going up against maintenance tunnels created by mages, an illusion would be a very simple way to keep someone from finding whatever the fuck you want to protect. Maybe they hit a dead end. I don't know. But worth looking into. Did they ever get that wand?
Not to his knowledge, he didn't have one.
Sorry. Is there
I
anything else at all?
assume they may have got the wand if they had access to at least some of these tunnels and were able to find a way via the cathedral, because
Might already
they seemed
knew
to
the
know of its
cathedral one.
existence already.
But they might have known that from just being part of the church or whatever. Potentially.
We'll not rule it out. A lot should take it. I'll pass this on to the sheriff, and I'm sure she will reach out to you. But as for now, I have no reason to hold you here, and I have no real other tasking, unfortunately, that I would be of a level to give anyway. You don't fall under my jurisdiction. I can only advise you stay safe and keep doing what you have been doing. Good work so far. It's been very helpful, and hopefully I'll be able to designate some people to these possible weak points that we've been highlighted here.
Is the airspace still closed?
Unfortunately, it's only been a couple of hours, but yes, it's since it's still been the last 24 hours the attack.
Any idea on when it will open again?
I believe it's the sheriff's plan to meet with Chancellor tomorrow morning to discuss when they'll be reopening, but it should be assessed every 24, 48 hours. Once the threat level seems to have calmed down, we will resume normal trade in motion. But right now, there's, as you have already proven, a bit of a whodunit going. Whoever done it is still here.
Yeah. It's almost like you're stuck up here with people who want to hurt you.
Indeed. But the good news is there is a lot more of us than there is of them.
Well, maybe it's worth checking the other, I don't know, shops in the area. Maybe they didn't just attack the Temple of the Watch, or maybe they attacked other places looking for this wand. Maybe we can track from there, potentially.
Certainly worth a look in. There are several stores. The closest one to you here, not a magical store, it's Odds and Ends, the general store, just on the far side of Silly Park. if you're heading back towards the Moon Isle where we were before, it would be not the main road that we came up on, it would be the road just over to the right, coming from this side.
Well, let's go.
Are there
man.
any other magical shops in the area that we may be worth looking into?
Sun Isle would have a lot. The Temple of the Watcher, which is an enchanting shop. There is also the Emerald Anklet, which is a jeweler's shop, which would do some minor magical enchantments on the jewelry itself. There's also an alchemist, the Spectacular Academy, all in the Sun Isle. There's also a blacksmith, the Brass Truth. They would all have magical items in their portfolios, I would imagine, to some degree.
Okay.
If we wanted to speak with someone about the engines of the island, who would we speak to on information about those?
Your port of contact would definitely be the sheriff. However, I'm not quite sure where she is in the immediate moment. I'll be contacting her after this. You're welcome to hang around like in pass your location if she wills it. But from her point of view, it would be a conversation with the Chancellor.
What about the mages?
The mages are the council, but the Chancellor would be the head of that. Ironically, the Chancellor does not have any magic.
It's a really shit mage.
Not a mage at all, in fact.
It's a really shit mage.
It's been in place since the city was raised. The idea being that someone without the ability to directly act should be the one with the most power. If you give a mage the authority the Chancellor had, they could make an executive decision and overrule everyone, and it could be severely catastrophic. Even if the Chancellor gave the executive decision, say, to shut down all the engines, the mages would never do it. But if a mage Chancellor made that executive decision, it would be very difficult to stop them. She's a quite a woman. But there's nothing else. I will let you go anyway. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, Cyrus just nods and then he starts heading out.
Alrighty.
Just as we're heading out, I will try and keep Atlas back without touching her. Try and give her like a subtle signal and just kind of lean over. This is the second time you have asked about the lockdown. Are you in trouble?
Not legally.
Listen, not legally is my middle name. If you're in trouble, then we will protect you. I've not known you long, but I trust you, and you have uses to me.
Let's just say when that airspace opens, something is coming for me.
Well, it is good enough that I enjoy killing, so I will attempt to kill your problem. It's how I deal with my problems.
Please don't kill it. I will be in so much more trouble if you kill it.
Very well, very well. But if you need help, you are not alone.
Just, if you see me run in one direction, probably run after me.
Julie noted.
Yeah, I will duck out.
Mm-hmm. You head out to the water aisle, and you see a silly park before you in all its lovely majestical glory. Yeah, what would you like to do?
Can I ask what time of day it is?
Right now, it is coming up on mid to late afternoon, so probably around 4 or 5 o'clock.
Probably too early for pints.
It's never too early for pints.
I would say with the time that you have, if you're planning on going to a store, you probably wouldn't really have time to hit one of them before most of them start shutting up for the evening. That's not to say you couldn't get access to them. But, you know, like, if you're planning on hitting one, if you're going to go for, say, I would go for the Spectacular Academy or, like, the Brass Troop, which are, like, the furthest ones, you need to be, like, heading there fairly swiftly, you know?
What are our thoughts?
What do I need anything?
Well, since we have no more major leads, perhaps we should hit that odds and ends shop.
I think we might be better going to the Alchemist.
I am also going to say that you have gained the benefits of a short rest with the travel in the stealth carriage and the conversation with the sergeant. Which does mean, Volgir, you have attuned to the strange sword.
Nope.
I
need
what you're trying to do. If you go on D&D Beyond and you search for the item Storm Sword, you will need to make sure your homebrew content is enabled, but it is on there.
Storm Sword.
That's just me rolling my hit dice for the short rest.
Add items. Custom item.
But yeah,
not custom item.
Benacer said Anna Lim was looking to bring him a potion. If they were coming true on that, chances are they would have sought out an alchemist, right?
That is what I was thinking. But it's whether or not she told them the truth.
Truth or not, they might be able to give us some kind of lead. Or even a better description of what Anna Lim looks like.
Oh, Jesus.
That is true.
I like that.
I vote for the alchemist shop.
Should we get a carriage? It'll be a lot quicker that way.
Do you have carriage money?
I have some money.
I can get us a...
as well.
And I'm bunking with Volgir tonight, apparently, because I'm broke.
It'll be 10 chits
I
or a silver
will. I will call for a carriage.
Yep, you heal one down. A very brief transaction of a hollow strap raised up, and you swiping over the exchange. You see your currency go down, his currency go up.
That's just an Apple Watch.
Yep. And yeah, then you hop aboard and you travel, heading down in the direction of the Sun Isle towards the Spectacular Alchemy. You kind of see the street outside is lined with a low stone wall, and it's this like big stone and brick building. You see a small fence yards and softly blowing chimes by the door. And as you kind of like step inside, the bell on the door rings softly, and you see books on the counter along the walls and dozens of glowing bulbs hanging from the ceiling, which become very clear are not magical or gas-fed lights, or like you would expect. They appear to be just fireflies in like little old light bulbs and stuff, all hanging there. The owner of the store, you see a male elf, long, slicked back, like white hair, the pallid, pale texture of skin that you would see probably only with a Shadow Kai, and the large black eyes that are just completely full. Like all elves, no pupil, no white, just all solid color. But yeah, the black eyes of a Shadow Kai are quite
creepy.
They resemble the void.
Probably not creepy to Atlas. That's what she's used to.
And as you enter, he looks up from his book, gives a little small smile, looks back down to it, and says very quietly, "You need help finding anything?"
Somebody else should talk about it.
I'll approach the counter.
I will be too soon.
Good evening, afternoon, whatever time it is. I drink too much. We are looking for potentially an antidote for a poison, but a very specific one. It is it causes blindness and almost delirious behavior, but it doesn't affect them physically.
No, it was affecting him physically. He was slowly dying. Just slowly.
Well, it was affecting him over time.
Make me a medicine check, please, Beros, because you're describing the effects and symptoms of a poison, with no, like, yeah, my friends were bitten by this snake. It's this one. It's like,
This one right
yeah,
here
these
that
are the
I'm
symptoms.
holding.
17 is pretty good.
17?
Pretty good.
Yeah, he goes, sounds like you're looking for a antidote for, was it effectively a fairly toxic metal poisoning? Probably in the bloodstream. I could whip something up, but it's going to take me some time. Not something I keep handy.
So it's not something he keeps handy, so he might not have sold it to.
Doesn't mean he can't make it up.
Friend.
Doesn't mean he couldn't make it up for them.
If it's something that's specific, you probably know if you've been making it up recently.
And he probably would have made up maybe a batch or two.
Yeah, maybe it goes off. I don't know anything about potions.
Expiry date?
Yeah, I'm assuming this is for not a future use, but probably something has already been, or someone has already been affected by such a poison.
Yes.
They have.
It should be quite difficult for me to make something. I can make a general cure all. It won't be as effective. But if I could inspect the individual, or at least inspect the blade or the debris that caused the original injury, it will probably be an infected wound, I suspect, that would be coming from. If I can inspect either the actual, I need to know what metal is poisoning him to counteract.
He's in jail.
Do we know if the magic shower?
That is a problem.
Do we know if the shop owner was the one to basically stab this?
Yes.
He was.
Yeah,
He
he said he shot him.
He said he shot him.
Yep. With his lance. His fancy lance.
And the whatever he shot him with was poison.
Yeah, but he said that the bullets he was using were poisonous rounds.
Yeah.
He had calibrated them himself, like deliberately.
He was quite proud.
Yeah.
Very.
If you
very
wanted a better
proud.
concept, he probably would have shown Atlas and he probably would have shown Atlas and Astra whenever they left. The bullets effectively looked like little marbles, but you know the little tint in the marble. It was just full of like a liquid metal that rolled around, almost like how mercury plays, like that. Give you like
That's
a rough idea.
cool as shit. I mean, I will describe that to the guy and see if that gets us any further.
Yeah, we'll just go Barrow's original 17 medicine check. He can either distill a generic cure-all, because a lot of like metals can take a liquid form. Most of them that do are very toxic. They come in contact with your bloodstream, so it unfortunately doesn't help narrow it down too much. He's like, I ever need to get me one of those like marble bullets.
I mean, the shops are on the corner. Like we're on the same island, so we could potentially go and grab one of them if he has any left.
But the main question is whether or not they even came here. We're trying to pick up a trail.
True, it does seem like if it's going to take a while for it to be made, then
There could be another option to this. Maybe they just don't care.
Mm-hmm. He might have just told him he was getting a potion to calm him down and leave.
Because however long we were there, no one came back.
I'll lean over the
We're just
counter.
waiting on to die.
Does the shop benefit from client privilege? Or are your records public? We are
Make me a
looking for
persuasion check.
someone. Okay.
That depends. How persuasive are you?
Let's
Let's go.
see.
Private.
How much coin is in
Oh.
your...
Not 20?
You watch as the alchemist looks up at you and puts a little bookmark in his book and closes it, and waves his hand, and you watch as the door slams shut and the sign flips from open to closed, and he goes, "Look, if you want to buy poisons, that is completely fine, but I feel like,
Atlas
based
just
on
does
the
another
situation."
slow mask pan to Astra as the door closes.
We're not looking for poison, but we're looking for someone who potentially
Was looking for the
purchased
cure
something
to a
or
poison.
looking for a cure. Just if a list of customers that you maybe perchance served today in the past couple of hours. Did we get?
That may have
Did
purchased
we
something
get a
similar.
descriptor of the elf?
We have descriptors of a bunch of them, so it wasn't the pale blonde guy because that was the guy who got shot. So it would have been a short ginger elf
Dark-haired
or a
one.
sun elf.
You would know the woman who died.
But it wasn't her. So it probably is the short ginger guy. Or girl. I just got short and ginger.
I don't like it when Harry goes old dinky.
I'm having a hard time remembering if anyone came in fitting that description. That's a specific request.
Who has
Cyrus
chits.
is going to set. Ow, it's not physical money, so he can't set the chits on
You
the
just
counter.
gotta set your arm on the counter.
You could have gold or silver or
No,
I
it's way funnier if you just set your arm on the counter and then do like the hologram thing of like a chip
Okay.
like ticking up.
Okay, originally I switched my 2 silver as my starter to chits. I'm going to claim them back as silver. And Cyrus is going to set a silver on the counter.
He reaches forward, picks it up, and like rolls it kind of like down his fingers and like back up again. He goes, "Untraceable." Regardless,
This guy's fiddling the tax man.
yes, an individual did come in matching that description about maybe an hour and a half before you arrived. Asked about a antidote for a similar condition of what you described. Unfortunately, the reason why I don't have any is because he bought the last of my stock.
Ooh. How much did he buy?
I only had 1 bottle of the generic cure-all. Metal poisoning of that toxicity isn't overly common, and it's fairly pricey to distill.
Did he leave a name?
No, he paid in untraceable. But he did leave in a bit of a hurry, but unsurprising because of the nature of whatever medicine he had purchased.
If he's bought the antidote, he may be heading back to the cathedral to
And he's
help
gonna find
his
his
friends.
friend. He's going to find a dead friend and a missing one.
Depending on how long ago did he leave?
About an hour and a half ago. And that would put you at the timeline whenever you guys had probably arrived or were just leaving, probably, like just for rough. Took you about 15 minutes to drive across, 10-15 minutes for your chit chat. So it was probably just before, like, a little bit before, probably whenever you had like found the original base itself, or maybe you were even fighting the Sun Elf.
Chances are he's already got back there then.
Oh, we can go see him.
Okay.
While you're
You've
here,
been
would you
very
like
helpful.
to purchase anything else at all, apart from information?
Do you have any potions of healing?
I have a few potions of healing. I also have potions of a variety of things, some oils.
Oils.
Produces a like large jar with like a cork top. This oil is one that I have distilled recently, and he rolls it over, and it looks thick and heavy as it sloshes over itself. And he goes, and apply this to yourself, and it would make you incredibly difficult to grab you or restrain you by non-magical means.
And incredibly easy to.
That's just lube. He's selling us a bottle of lube.
No, it'll actually magically
He's
prevent you.
selling magic lube.
It'll prevent you from being affected by, say, rubble on the ground or other things make it harder to move. And any magical effect or spell cannot reduce your speed or cause you to be paralyzed or restrained. It also means you can slip free of manacles or other such restraints with ease. It also lets you move through water swiftly as well.
How much for a vial?
You would need the jar to apply to yourself, or you could dump it on the ground. The whole jar here would probably cover a good 10-foot square, which would be effectively like a puddle of grease. Someone would slip in it quite easily. Not the cheapest. Those have magical properties. It's not simply just a wet material. For this,
What is your price?
2,000 shits.
We're a little light. We've not been paid yet. Maybe when we get paid by
That's fair.
our
How much
Benefactor.
for the healing?
For a healing potion basic, if you can't afford 20 shits oilless furnace, maybe about of your price range. It's either 50 gold or 5,000 shits.
Yes, never mind then.
yeah,
Thank
so
you for your
poor.
time.
We need to go get paid.
If you're looking for something perhaps more in your price range, I do have this lovely hair serum that helps with balding. That is merely 100 shits for a vial. Apply twice a day. One vial should last you about a week.
Thank you for your time. And Cyrus is going to leave.
I am very tempted to just buy a vial and then start rubbing it into Cyrus while he's
Cyrus's shaved head.
really like.
I'm gonna.
No, just rub it on the
Weird
patch where the
places.
horn should be on the other side. Like,
Could ask him,
horns
like,
are made of keratin, maybe.
do you have any like horn grow? It's like, yes.
Volga's gonna walk out following Cyrus. Just go. I don't think I have a hair problem. Stroking his beard. Cyrus, you might want to get back in it
Why?
because I think you might want to get a nice big beard, bushy beard like me.
Bushy beard would get in the way, therefore I keep my goatee nice and short, thank you.
I am trying to grow some feathers back, but I don't want to be greasy.
Would hair grow work on feathers?
I don't know.
I also don't know, to be honest. It was distilled with hair follicles in mind, not feathers. I'm sure I could make something similar.
It's a specific problem. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Let's go.
I'm sure we'll be back when we get paid by a benefactor.
No step.
As Atlas leaves, she'll just call behind her. Good luck selling your magic lube.
Like I need luck. It's lube. It practically sells itself. But you leave, the door sign flips back to open, and then you hear oh, fuck, it's at the time already, and then it switches back to close, and the door does not reopen. You do hear the bolt lock.
I think tavern, or are we going back to?
Nah, let's go back to the fucking guy. Let's see if he's there.
Yeah, I have a
Think
feeling
that's-
that
If we walk through the streets, we may come upon him. If we take a carriage now, we might miss him.
May I suggest we take different routes in groups of two? More chance of catching him.
Well, the cathedral is on the way to the tavern, so if we head this way, then, like Cyrus said, we may bump into him. But he may be looking for his friend, and if anyone saw him being carried away by the guards, then he will know where to go.
Well,
We might be
why
able to
don't we-
find a bargaining chip in it.
Did we see
To
where
get
the
thing to
guard?
him to save his friend. He might tell
The
us
guards
something.
took him in a different direction than we were taken, wasn't it?
Yes.
We didn't actually see where he was taken.
He was
Okay.
taken shortly after you guys left. He was restrained by you, given the Pegastanites, and then after you had left, you would have seen the Pegastanites flying off with him, like on the back of a Pegasus.
I wonder what happened to the original girl.
The original?
The first terrorist who killed everyone. She wasn't dead.
She was probably taken to the same location that our unfortunate friend was.
Let's see if we can find this guy first. Everybody keep your seeing eyes out.
Well, why don't we split up? Because there's 2 bridges. If I'm thinking we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, we can take the 2 bridges and then potentially meet outside of the tavern.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because then you have more chance of catching him if he started walking. I will take the right bridge.
We should have a
Take
mixture
that.
of range and close quarters. Who's good at close?
I can-
Both.
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 I'm
I'm-
really tapped out in magic, so I'm just gonna be up close and personal for the time being.
Well, okay. Look at this as the other way. Who can hold their own in a fight?
I think
After the
everyone here is
At the moment.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty sturdy after.
Right, so
Against
one of you
who?
on each party against someone who's probably going to have a long stabbing thing.
We've also got a crossbow.
I tell you what, me and Atlas, we take one bridge, the rest of you take the other. I believe me and Atlas have enough ability to scarper out of the way if we need to get anywhere.
Worst case scenario, I can just take off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty light on my feet.
Fine with me. We'll take the right.
What
You guys take the left. Cool.
Alrighty, so
Never split the party.
I was going to say if you see anything, send a message, but we might be out of range.
Put your phone.
Yeah. Never mind.
If you hear screaming,
It was probably
Well-
me. I'm quite a loud screamer.
I actually can't. So it
We'll
will
keep
be.
our ears out.
I just had the image of your character just like just stabbing someone screaming at top of his lungs like ah!
No,
We get
just,
to the-
just Alice being like, shit, I need to scream, but I can't. Grabs dagger, stabs Barrels in the leg.
I imagine we're at the bar, we start to hear screaming like, there's a woman screaming! Run, it might be Atlas! Arrive, and it's Barrows.
The owl that Atlas is based off, I listen to their call and it is terrifying because it just sounds like a young child screaming. It's like,
Oh god.
I don't like that.
If you'll arrive is fairly close, as we can be a couple of minutes in it with Feros and Atlas being slightly behind the other group. They've got slightly longer arc to cover.
I was gonna say we just like really like stopped off somewhere. Show up with Starbucks.
Got some
But I
chips.
think with Atlas, what is your flying speed? Is it still 30 or is it 60?
I think it's the same as my walking speed.
What Aarakocra are you?
I'm not an Aarakocra.
Not Aarakocra,
Bird
are you?
folk.
No, hang on. Racial shit.
30 foot?
Yeah, equal to my walking speed.
Grand, okay, that's fine. Because I know Satyr moves at 35, so Beros will be a bit quicker. But yeah, unfortunately, you do still slow down.
I've got little owl legs.
You kind of walk your way around. From both groups, one person can make this with advantage, or 2 people can make individual checks. Just perception, as you try to scan for individuals you've never seen before, based solely off the description.
Varys, what's your perception like? Because I've got a +7.
I've got plus one, so
perception.
maybe give you advantage.
My perception is a +4.
I got a +3.
That's 6.
I guess we're giving Astra advantage.
Okay.
I'm trying to game it so much, you know?
2 20s.
Thank fuck for that.
Who's
No.
rolling?
Thank fuck for that. That's what you get for trying to game it, okay?
Who's rolling?
Astra rolled, and she rolled a nat
Astra
1 and a
rolled,
nat
'cause-
2.
Yeah.
Mary has +6. I was like, get advantage. It'll be fine. And it wasn't fine.
To be fair, I don't think that's considered like gaming it because I feel like characters are aware of what they're good at, even if they don't know what pluses they have.
Yeah, but you know, it's gonna be the, don't say I have a +7, just say, I'm pretty good at seeing things. Like, come on.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like a 7.
Yeah, exactly. Or like the, how hard are you? It's like, on a scale of 1 to 56, I'm about a 10 right now, so I'm not doing so hot. Like, yeah, no, don't do that.
I look about a quarter of my usual bounciness.
Yeah.
I look almost dead. Like, if I'm hit once, even by something very weak.
We did that last session. It's like, how do you look? I look like my legs are shaking and I'm covered in blood. How do you look? I'm also covered in blood.
Exactly. So, group 1, which I'll say will be Atlas and Meros, you head... No, group 1. Group Alpha is a different thing. You head the northern bridge connecting the moon and sun isle and cross over. As you scan, Atlas, you're pretty confident this individual did not take the longer route to get the individual. You see no obvious signs
He was in a rush.
You see no obvious signs of them moving through crowds or even like a brief little ask and investigation looking around, things like that. Nothing really draws anything overly useful for yourselves, unfortunately. The southern group, it's rush hour. Everyone is leaving their places of work. Everyone is going home, moving across the bridge. These bridges, by the way, are not short. For instance, the southern bridge is about 125 foot long. The bridge itself is like chock a block with people. And it seems that at rush hour, they like, you know, obviously there are carriages and things also trying to get past, which like are just ground to a halt by like the horde of people moving through the city streets. They kind of spill off the pavement.
It's like the motorway trying to go home.
Yeah. Unfortunately, looking around for an individual who matches that description, you find one individual who is short, ginger, and elf, and you follow that individual for the problem is you can't get close enough to get a good look because of the thick crowds. You follow them for a while, and it's only after they go down another street and take another left, you're like, nah, they're definitely not going anywhere near the cathedral. And even a quick look at a person, there's nowhere they would obviously have a potion on them, things like that. You almost find yourself like wasting time and like, you know, going down following a red herring, literally a red heading, as it were. But yeah, you unfortunately don't turn up anything useful, at least on the way to the lunar square, which is where probably after your little detour following that civilian, you would see Beros and Atlas, and like yeah, Beros, you would also feel it's getting a bit busier and busier yourselves, but you're able to nimbly, you know, duck through and dodge and weave and you know, get a bird's eye view, which also helps your search. Yeah, you make your way back. You're currently in the lunar square. You see the cathedral looming before you. You see Galandan's, a tavern. What do you want to do?
Go check out the secret room, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We don't know where those tunnels led last time, sure we didn't.
Also, if we see that priest again, he might be able to give us some indication. Maybe he's seen the red-haired elf.
Do we trust the priest?
No.
I get the feeling that he wasn't fully aware of the situation he was in.
Let's talk.
But a high priest surely knows of a secret underground tunnel, even if.
Oh no, I think he was
away.
aware of. I think he was aware of the tunnel. I just don't think he realized that that was the group he was helping. I think he was just trying to give sanctuary to unfortunate soul, and then after speaking to us, he seemed to have a bit of hesitancy about him. That, oh god, that's what happened to them. Oh god, that's what it did.
my issue is they clearly would have been there maybe more than once. They had time to make plans and set up and
Maybe
draw
we should
their
go in the side
maps.
entrance. Be closest to where the door is.
Yeah, whatever entrance can get us closer to that door.
That would be the
I
north
still
and
don't
west.
know.
Yeah, we slip around there.
Yeah, if you want, you move up towards the Cathedral of Soprano. You follow on the northwestern side to the side entrance. You see the door is, whereas before the doors were all open, the door is shut.
It is shut. It was made by those who are dead. And the dead keep it.
Open the freaking door.
Atlas goes up and opens the door. Yeah?
Yeah.
Atlas opens the door. The door swings open, and you see stood on the high raised altar a familiar figure. You see the long flowing robes and familiar like profile, Traki Ostrov, as he is in the middle of a sermon, and the cathedral is full to the brim with the evening service.
Atlas closes the door.
Echoes out through the big temple, and a few people look over, and Traki, he stops his sermon. You hear him like, "And Soprano will come find us wherever we may be." There's some latecomers, I think. Please, there's some space down here at the front.
Claude just slams, like panic slams the door shut again.
Volga is just going to force Beros full force in.
I'll stumble in.
Yeah.
Apologies for my lateness. I was out shopping. Please continue.
Thank you. Wait.
Do the rest of us follow?
I mean, do you?
And we
follow?
just like sit at the back.
I'll turn around. If I go to the front, he may not notice you go to the back.
Right at us.
I'll ask some awkward questions or something. I'll come find you when the service is over.
Okay, go.
I'm just gonna start wandering around the site as discreetly as possible, taking as little
stealth
information.
check.
I feel like Cyrus is going to walk in without a stealth check. He's just going to, as Volgir's like, be quiet, just walk in, act still.
Oh, I'll
just
take that.
La 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 la, don't care.
I'll take that stealth.
Volgir like blends in with like the busy people around, and like kind of nimbles his way through group to group. And walking with the confidence almost that he had not been interrupting the service at all, so it doesn't really draw too much look. Unfortunately, next to him is Cyrus, who draws all the fucking attention in the world. He's tall, imposing, wielding an actual physical weapon in the cathedral. And about 50% of the cathedral seems to stop paying attention to Traki and begin just focusing on this strange man who's walking around with an actual axe out, where there's a terror threat in the city.
Cash.
And as he's saying that, you hear Traki returning back to his sermon, and he says like, "Soprano will find us wherever we may be, and she will keep us safe. Although the city may be in danger right now."
I try to sneak.
I mean, when I was 16, you might have slipped under the radar for a lot of people.
Everyone's busy looking at the guy with the axe.
Yeah, it's not hard. Anyway, and he's the core of his sermon. He's talking about how they have to bond together in these dangerous times, and to make sure, to check on each other, make sure you're checking on your neighbors, and like, at the end of the day, the will of Soprano is not to let these I think you probably refer to them as zealots, kind of like try to dissuade us from her ultimate path and things like that, and just a lot of just trying to instill confidence in the people, I think is probably the fairest way to put it. Atlas, are you sneaking in, or are you just walking in like Cyrus? Not Atlas, sorry, Astra.
Yeah, I already
Astra
snuck
is going to like walk in, but a lot more, let's say, not graceful, but
Reverence.
with reverence to her than Cyrus would, but try and sit at a pew or a row of seats near the statue.
Okay. Yeah, you move all the way
If
over
that
there.
makes sense.
Yeah. You would see that a lot of individuals in the crowd clock you coming in late, things like that. You already hear someone like muttering, being like, she doesn't even look like she was. And a little bickering and back and forth. But yeah, you sit yourself down. It's not like you're sneaking into an overly hostile situation. It's just a short sermon.
Yeah.
Abby,
It's just bitchy grandmas about how you're late to church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
see.
hostile enough as it is.
Look at what they're
Roll me a
I've just managed to
even wearing their
D6,
finest.
please.
D6.
This determine how
I've
many
just
rows
managed-
away from the statue you're. One being the closest row, and then kind of going.
I managed to make. I made the note. Cyrus has entered the temple and become public enemy number 1.
Hey, there's actual religious terrorism around. He's public enemy
He's
number
not-
like 3 at least.
He's not doing anything wrong. He's just a little uncouth.
That's someone walking into a Catholic church with a balaclava on. Everyone's going to be judging.
I've just also realized that if he's walking down the right-hand aisle, the horn is on his leg.
Yeah,
So
4.
you yes, you're about
Casual
4
down.
aisles away from like the actual statue's alcove itself. You're not right next to
Okay.
it, but you're there. But there are candles.
Yeah,
and stuff
that's
around. Like
okay.
there's people who probably go up and give prayer at these, but maybe no one seems to be doing it in the middle of a sermon.
Yeah. Astra's probably just going to keep an eye out. Like, keep watching the statues, see if anything.
The second the
Untoward's
sermon
going
starts
on.
up again, Atlas like just slouches back, very much giving vibes of like teenager who was dragged to church. You can literally just hear inside her mouth, she's like.
Is there anywhere Atlas and Volky were like to position themselves with those stealth checks, or are they? It sounds like Atlas is gonna sit down.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get myself also
I'm-
kind of close to the statue.
Roll me a D3 because you succeeded in the stealth check.
Because I'm so.
I'm gonna-
sneaky.
I'm just going to keep moving my way
What
forward,
the fuck is
trying
a D3?
duck in and out of
Why roll
alcoves.
Roll a D6 divided by 2.
that? Okay.
And round. Done. So you're 3 rows away. So you're kind of pretty sat just in front of Astra.
Okay.
Volgy, where are you trying to go?
I'm just going to try and duck in and out of alcoves, trying to get close to the statue, but from the side.
Bless you.
Yeah, you with 24, I think you can duck in and out, and you eventually get yourself in behind the statue itself, and no one really seems to pick up on you as you have shuffled your way down.
Could I open and have a look in without attracting attention, or will it be visible to people?
You did recall the doorway was a stone-on-stone scraping noise, and it was open last. You can
Right.
try to
I'm
do
just
it,
gonna
but it's been quite difficult to do, unless you had, like,
So
you know,
it'll
something to
be
lubricate
obvious.
the sound.
Oh, the lube! We should have bought the lube.
Always buy the lube.
We couldn't
people.
afford the lube.
Steal the lube, then. Never
I
go
had
anywhere
like
without lube.
1,200 shits, and I couldn't afford it.
I'm just going to stay there for the moment.
This is a long sermon.
Where does Cyrus get to sit? He's not trying to sit anywhere in particular.
Next
He's
to a
just like,
terrified grandma.
where is there a seat that I can just plant myself, that I can see everybody else in?
The back row.
Sure.
Cyrus, you come in the side entrance, and then walk
All
all the
the
way
way
back
down.
to the front entrance and sit yourself down there. And everyone has watched you do it.
The entire time.
There also is in the front row. Well, one of the front rows because they're kind of like a 3-pronged stage. While that is happening, Atlas, make me a religion check.
With anything, or just a
Nah,
straight religion
you
check?
because you're history. This is why you can.
Okay, I'm not good at this.
You
16.
see, based on the
Decent.
patterns and the way he's speaking, a lot of priests of certain deities definitely have a pattern to how they preach.
I've been to this sermon
Yeah.
before.
You would say, because he's not started quoting anything from any holy text or anything yet, you're probably still in the first 25%.
Ah.
You know, there's not been any songs that you've seen. You could be here. You're like, it's going to be at least another 45 minutes to an hour before we get out of here. Like, at least.
Did you say Astra was in front of me?
Yeah, she's in the row, so she kind of had this early, but you were slipping behind her.
Okay.
He's just in front of you.
Alice is going to rip a page from her book, write on it, could be another hour, could be more, and just like drop it over her shoulder. In a I tried to be subtle about it. Shall you slide a hand?
Yeah, that's your sleight of hand check.
Passing notes in class.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not trying to be subtle enough that no one will see me, but at least like for it to not draw too much attention.
22? I mean, it goes off pretty smoothly. No one seems to block it. Or
Atlas has passed many a note in many a boring sermon.
The ones who know.
But yeah, Volgir, if you have any oil or anything like that, you could always use that to try to lube up the stove.
Volgir, do you have any lube
do you have a
on
lantern
you?
or anything? Like lantern oil would do? Or
Well,
that would work.
I have reskinned flasks of oil, but I don't know if they still would work, because they're like what she uses to like sanitize herself. But they did cost the same, so I don't know.
I would say because you changed it to be hand sanitizer.
Can I?
They're high-proof alcohol.
Sanitizer is still slippy.
It is slippy.
Can I see? Can I see? Would I know roughly how long it would be until there's any loud singing or recanting of prayers or whatnot?
You don't follow Sarpana as a dwarf. You might follow Tasu, the god of the forge. You can make a religion check if you'd like. DC be slightly higher because you're not familiar with this pattern.
I'll try
it's
it.
like going. It's like a Catholic going to like a Presbyterian church. You're like, whoa, this is going really quick for some reason.
It's really good.
I'm liking my dice tonight.
You think looking around here for any like, you're used to. Dwarves are big on their carving and stuff, and like there's definitely a little note to almost how in Christian churches, at least in the church where Anna Bry was sent to, they would have a large wooden plaque on the wall with like the hymn numbers and the date and stuff like on it. So dwarves have those in stone carved in, and every single sermon has a new one like carved in, and then the old one is like thrown away and chiseled away and discarded.
That's so fucking extra.
Yeah, it is. But you don't see anything like that resembles like a key hint of like that the reason is going to be singing. However, you do see that every pew has a selection of little books, and there is one larger book which you would recognize to be it's a holy scripture.
Like a prayer book.
Yeah, well, there's like a prayer, there's like a song and a hymn book that I think you probably spot, which is a lot smaller. But the larger one is it's effectively is the book of the gods. Every race has their own name for it, but the books are all the same. The only difference is the god in question, who the focus is put on, is set as the as like the main divinity. So in the instance of Tasu, for instance, it is Tasu is the first chapter, the chapter of Tasu, and everything that he did to make the dwarves, and on the mountain of Farad, what he did to ensure all this happened. But then all the morals and all the other stories, all the other gods, things like about the Morgana, the god of death, and her, finding of the lost souls and all that kind of stuff. It's how the moral of the story is still there and can still be found, but it's told through like Tasu's perspective almost. It's almost like through his lens. So it is all, although they are all the same story, they're all a little bit tweaked to reflect their own, to bring out their own purposes.
To bring out the best in their god.
Yeah, but it's clearly recognizable. It's
main
like
character.
It's like if you saw the Old Testament. And you're like, yeah, that's the Old Testament. It's like, cool. And that's also the Old Testament. They're both, like, one's a Jewish Old Testament, one's a Christian Old Testament. They're pretty similar. But there's a little few tweaks, like, very minor a lot of the time, but enough to sway things one way or another. You see that book clearly there, which doesn't look like it's been very used very often. Most of the people who probably are picking up that book at a church probably shouldn't be there. The book next to it, the smut thinner book, is heavily worn, dog-eared in a lot of the places. It appears he's some kind of songbook. You would say, sometime in the next, you would imagine 15 minutes or so, it's very likely that at least one hymn will be sung in that time, which would probably be loud enough for you to...
Yeah. Can I wait then until the hymn plays and then try to open the door?
Yep.
Ferris is absolutely belting out whatever
Be
hymn
2
they're singing.
seconds.
I imagine that
Oh, happy days.
if Cyrus gets involved, which I have a small feeling he might, if he sees what Volgear's doing, does anybody remember Mr. Bean?
I mean,
I know
yes.
Mr.
Cyrus, I'll make something easy for you. You do not see what Volker is doing, because he rolled a 24 in his stealth.
Oh shit! I just thought because I was at the back of the room, I was seeing everybody. Do you remember the episode whenever he's at church but he can't remember the names apart from Hallelujah? So he's like blah 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 Hallelujah. That's Cyrus. He only knows one word, and that's the word he's going to be singing throughout the song.
Alright, and after some time of waiting and biding your time, Bracky does call upon everyone to stand, to sing hymn number 494.
Oh yeah,
And everyone
performance
closes their
checks
books,
everyone.
and they flip through, and yeah,
Performance checks everyone.
performance checks everyone, with disadvantage if you do not have any ties to the goddess Sarpana of the Fae.
Yes, my +1. Just leave him with that.
My
Do I
minus
get a
one
connection
with
via racial?
disadvantage.
Yeah, you would know. It's kind of like how everyone who went to school in the UK knows the Lord's Prayer.
I don't.
Wow.
I don't.
Then you would have a minus to religion.
Well, I got an 11, so you know. I feel like that's very average.
Yep, it is average,
Six.
Atlas. You know, it's probably about the same amount of like.
It's
shit,
about
like,
as much as Atlas cares about the religion.
it's honestly about as much as most people in the church are really putting into it. Beros,
Put too much effort
you
in.
know this song quite well because it is like been rehashed quite heavily into a Fae drinking song.
So he's doing...
The lyrics are a little different at points, but you're pretty good at picking up on like when to maybe on the areas you don't know off by heart to like take a little a step back from. Cyrus, it's atrocious. It is people are, you know, whenever like like hymns have a very particular style to them. It is always the like, you know, the Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want, and like, you know, there's a little bit of pause, things like that. Cyrus does not get any of the pauses. Cyrus jumps way too early on the start of the next line, and everyone hears him first, and it kind of throws off a lot of other people around him. He gets so many dirty looks from people as they're like, you know, like snapping looks at him. And Cyrus, at one point, the old elf next to you, and he's like an old ass elf. He must be about 800, aging, long beard for an elf, which is, you know, probably only about just to below his Adam's apple. Because they struggle to grow facial hair like me. And he turns to you and goes like, "Boy, shut the fuck up. Trying to worship here. You're just being rude. You don't get point for trying."
I think Cyrus will just like nod and then be silent.
Yeah. And if you do, you hear like a visible, like an audible sigh of relief. Regardless, the hymn comes to a fade to close, and Cyrus probably starts, "Woo! Yeah!" Very uncouth. Things that, in Lorian's temple, a big, like, to keep it in perspective, Sarpana is like very, it is almost
Peaceful.
like the Catholic Church, like, to that level of like, you know, this is how we're doing it, it's very laid out, this is how it's happening. Lorian, the god of
People
war,
clap when the plane lands.
best believe it's like every
Gospel.
good, it's like a soul church.
Gospel.
Yeah, like a gospel church. Like James Brown could be up there giving the sermon, you know?
Oh, happy days.
Oh, happy
But with a little bit more
days.
death metal thrown in there.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's that level of audience participation and that level of heart and soul into it. Maybe not as funky and upbeat, but yeah, but it is that definitely that kind of different drive. And there are definitely a bit more clapping than that kind of fall out of place here. In the chaos and loudness, Vulgir, you are able to push, get your fingers in the crack or your crowbar again and get the door wedged open and slip in. I believe no one else really knows you're doing that.
Would Astra clock it? Because she's kind of watching.
Yeah, listen,
you can make a
Astra are quite
perception
close.
check. You're gonna have to beat his 24 stealth check.
Can I try to?
Yep. You two are the closest, so I'll let you two make checks. Atlas does not see, unfortunately. She's a bit thrown off by the noise in the back, as is Astra. And Vulgir, you're able to slip in alone into this window.
Oh, wonderful.
The door you gently close behind yourself. You wedge it open, if anything, like even the crowbar hat behind.
Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely.
You find
I'll
yourself
use an
just
unlit
this window.
torch.
Perfect, you wedge that in. Lovely, nice, dull wood on stone. Yeah, and you find yourself in this dark corridor.
Does
Oh,
Astra,
wonderful.
with her perception, even just see the door just like up a little?
Can
will
I
let
see the map
Vulgir-
again?
I'll let Vulgir make one more stealth check,
Okay.
just for the actual door movement itself. See if any of your allies can spot it. 18, you both would see the door shift because you're probably keeping an eye on that area. You don't know who's done it.
Mhm.
Maybe it's like another, like maybe it's the elf. Like you don't know Vulgir is who's done it. But you're aware that the door during the song has opened.
All right.
Pile everyone else onto a little stack of school buses.
I'm gonna. Right, I might as well just draw my. I'm gonna keep my hand on my sword because I'm not gonna draw it because I think it's gonna make too much noise. Slowly progress forward.
Yep, you begin steaming your way down the stairs. You see the room, which had the plans
Still
previously,
sneaking.
then we thrown out the wall. Yeah, you're moving at a steady pace. You see the torches here have all since burnt out, but luckily with your dark vision, you can see pretty clearly anyway. Moving on down to the main room, I'll cut it for you. The place appears to be abandoned.
Right.
You don't find anyone with your little look around with your passive perception, at least. There's no obvious sign anyone is here. If anyone was here, it's perhaps likely they have already left.
Can I do some
Is
checks
the
on the
corpse
ground
still
around
under
here?
the table?
Yeah, make a investigation check.
What does this dog do?
Oh yes, I'm liking these rolls tonight.
23. Vulgir, based on the previous way, the bricks were kind of like cluttered and spread out, and the way the dirt tunnel was kind of dug before, you don't see any obvious signs of recent travel.
Right.
At least not since before you were last here.
Right. Well, I'll just wait here, still stealth, and I'm gonna scare the living shit out of the next person that comes through the door.
Sure. Astra or Atlas, the door moved. Are you doing anything, or are you staying and singing?
Jesus.
Astra's not the stealthiest of
Sorry, there's
people.
a dog, like, I don't know. Oh, my lungs.
But being a cleric and everything, would Astra have an idea of when the ceremony's going or the sermon's going to end?
Based on the note that Atlas passed you, about 30 minutes.
Gee, my girl got disadvantage on stealth, so like, yeah. I feel like Ash is going to stay where she is unless she sees one of the others move towards the door.
Atlas isn't going to. She doesn't think she can do it sneakily enough without drawing attention to it, and thinks that that will be bad.
She'll still actively keep looking to see if anybody that goes to the door.
Alrighty. So with that in mind, you waited out Vulgir down below. Nothing strange or startling happened. The rest of you ensure another 2 hymns and an extended sermon, as well as a guest speaker who's come to.
We're not gonna make Cyrus roll performance in all his
No, no,
hymns.
from now on, Cyrus is probably just going to like nod his head, knowing that he's getting side eye from the old elf beside him.
Side eye.
And yeah, after about 30 minutes or so, there's a guest speaker comes in from the city watch himself. He praises everyone for their braveness and boldness.
Is there that
stay
moment where it's
vigilant.
like, oh, it's ending, and he's like, and now our guest speaker.
Yeah, literally, like the ceremony comes in now, but the guest speaker comes in, and it's very much like reminder. To everyone
As the
to
guest
say-
speaker comes in, Atlas just go like literally out loud, like, no.
I imagine there's an audible sigh from the back of the church.
But the guest speaker, he does, come in, and it's more just, talking about like, if you see him suspicious, please contact your nearest city watch. Like
Everyone slowly turns to Siren.
and after all that is ticked off and boxed off, eventually, you're all dismissed. The sermon comes to an end. Volgir, you've been waiting down here for someone for like 30 solid minutes. No one comes.
I'm gonna keep waiting.
I feel like as the crowd's like moving out, Ash is gonna use that to like
use
head
that as
towards
cover
the
to like
statue.
get in.
You know?
Still check.
Just gonna give herself a little guidance beforehand, just to help.
Oh, Not
Can I have a
stealth.
look around in that 30 minutes?
Do we get any
Oh.
advantage for using the crowd as cover?
They're more like the
Do we?
facility that lets you
'Cause,
do
like-
it.
Okay.
Can
That's
I,
not good.
Even with advantage, after that would still be the first roll, which would be the 3. So, you two both rise up from your seat.
I feel like we both go
Although-
to head like in the exact same time
Yeah.
and just smack
Yeah,
into
exactly.
each other.
One of you goes on the right hand side of the statue, the other on the left, and you both dong off each other. Fucking Astra falls back on her ass. You see them move like, "Oh dear, you're right, love," and everyone's moving in to help you up. And one of the passers-by looks up and was like, "Is that there?" Like looking at the wedged open doorway.
Can I, while I'm looking around, can I see if I can find like a mask or something?
Sure. Make me a investigation.
Ash, like, oh, thank you, and like use her to help her get up and like kind of like steer the person away.
As you steer her away, make me a persuasion check.
Can I help
I think
her
she's
by like
you
casually
get assist.
spreading my wings out so I like hide that the door's open?
Like,
I'm like, oh,
feel
just
like-
stretching.
You can assist, but it's gotta be Astra who makes the check. She's the one who's handling the person.
That's fine. I don't have charisma.
Am I getting advantage
You're
or?
getting
You
advantage
get advantage from the verb.
from the verb.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
do I find a
16
mask, Harry?
16's the highest.
You don't find any masks here because this group don't really use masks. They kind of rely on their public image. You do find there are some, not quite statues, like armor stands around. But the actual piece of armor are made of like porcelain, like they're like for complete for show. But you can wear like a porcelain plate, the helm on your head.
I'll put a porcelain plate on over my head.
It's got a big, heavy, like porcelain, like cluster of feathers that comes up the top as well. After you're able to dissuade this person away from the entrance, and you kind of hear them like talking like, it's like a door or something. It's so strange. I think they are lost.
Oh, just stretching my big owl wings. Nothing to see here.
You two slip in through the door.
Yeah.
Yep. You head down the stairs. You see the area is pretty much as you left it, barren, and nothing overly strange, or startling, or obvious.
That was so
I feel like
boring. I nearly
Asher's-
told myself like 17 times.
Oh, I zoned out and dreamed of thunderstorms. To be honest.
Is
More.
the corpse still on
Mike.
the table?
Yep.
I don't think they've been back. I think they would have moved her.
I think they came down, seen it was empty, and left potentially. Or maybe
I
they
sat
haven't
through
came
that
yet
for
because the
nothing,
sermon.
For nothing.
But this might give us the chance to actually explore those tunnels.
Yeah, I guess. We better wait for the others. I think Cyrus will probably have a lot of eyes on him after that.
Cyrus is just sitting in the back of the church, like leaning on his axe, just waiting for everybody to leave.
Gotta tell you, I
Waiting,
haven't worshipped
waiting.
this god for a few years now, but if I still did, that performance would have made me stop. Would have just killed all belief.
We're sitting in, despite being a cleric, I'm more for outdoor worshipping kind of thing. I need to actually feel my god and the atmosphere around me.
After the ceremony,
Sermons. They're long, they're boring. The only good thing about them is,
After the
passing
ceremony,
in the
there
back.
was High Priest Ostrov to you, and he says, "So good of you to join us, my child. I knew one of your Fey self would find his way back eventually, after our last encounter."
or is he speaking to me?
Yeah,
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Well, I was so moved by our last interaction. I thought I better get in touch with my roots. It's not my chosen god, but we have a heritage connection, and I thought I owe it to my family to at least try.
Indeed, as we all know, I mean, all the gods are true and just in their own right. It is just I suppose it is whom fits our personal lives best in that moment makes the most sense, which I normally find Sapana does for myself just fine. If you do not all the time, I will never hold that against anyone. But I'm proud you were here and enjoyed it.
It is. I must admit, I am a little unorthodox. Morana is my chosen god. Being on a ship, and I've spent the last 10 years on ships, and you see a lot of death. But I think she is it she or he?
Morana is referred to as both.
Both.
They.
She.
She's never referred to as a he, she.
They.
She is referred.
They.
No, she's never referred to as a they. She's always referred to as either a he or a she. And it normally depends on the connotation of like she has come to take my mother, or he has come to take my father. It normally refers to the
person.
The person. Death is not without life, and the life is the thing that tends to justify how she is perceived.
So if you're referring
he
it to
is
as yourself, would you be like, how I would like death to
Yes.
meet me?
Yeah. So if Cyrus would probably say that Morana was a he.
She is a little bit more calming on long journeys, and when you see such death as I, then I believe I'm as close to death as I can.
Indeed. No, I have been unfortunate enough to lose not one but two of my spouses in the past. Morana and me have a more tenuous relationship, but I understand that it's not always her decision who lives and who dies. But it is still good to see you here, regardless. And he takes one of the flowers from one of the vases that are kind of set up around, and pulls it out of the water and just hands it to Beros, and he gives us a warm smile. He says, because even Sapana's beautiful nature will eventually die, even with all the water and the sun you can give it. The beautiful thing is about nature, in a year's time, it will probably die again, as it's born once more.
Tell that to my fucking planet, mate. Jesus.
Does Barros eat the flower because he is a satyr?
Thank you.
No, I'll take the flower, and I'll put it in the pocket, and I'll kind of just press it lightly against myself and be like, anyway, I dare not take you away from your duties. I must catch up with my friends and maybe scold them for their embarrassing display. And
yes, a whole nasty amount of the acts. I think I know what hymn he was trying to sing. I've never heard it in that key or tone or pitch or pace before, or even to that
volume.
beat.
I do
All of
believe
those
he has
lyrics.
a
In fact, it
complicated
might have been a
relationship.
completely different song. He doesn't strike me as one who would find Sapana's teachings relatable to his life.
I do not believe, but maybe he can change. But for now, I'll tell him to wait outside next time. At least during a sermon.
I would never tell for anyone to wait outside, but maybe to know when to.
Shut the fuck up.
It is
He got
sometimes
told.
better to listen if you are unaware than simply to hide one's lack of knowledge.
While this conversation is happening, actually, Cyrus wants to be reading through the book that's not touched very much.
Yep. So Cyrus,
The
you're reading
account of Sapana.
Yes, you're reading the story of the 14 gods from Serpana's lens, which is a lot nicer of a read than Lorien's book. Lorien's twists a lot of the morality and stories about like the issue of the demons and things like that. There's a lot more drive towards this ongoing battle, and like, you know, although peace is only ever meant to be broken, like this whole kind of like there is no such thing as true peace. Serpanus doesn't really touch on war or peace at all. Serpanus is focused on cycles, a cycle of life, cycle of death, nature, and just, you know, and it is you can see, like, you know, stories that, you know, you'd be familiar with, but like it's interesting seeing them pulling on completely different ideas from almost the same text. You know, it's like the summer. It's like it's a people of different like upbringings trying to interpret a poem. They pull different things from it, and that's almost what this is. They're pulling and focusing on different areas of the speech, whereas Serpana focuses on the beauty of the nature of a terrain, and Lorien focuses on the strategic advantage of the hill over the forest, and like that kind of thing. It's interesting. It's a very weird experience, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, Traki will leave Veros, who's on devices, and he is busy enough. People surround him, they flock to him. He's clearly very visibly respected in his position. A lot of people ask and say, you ever hear about how much they enjoyed his sermon? Or even simply just like even asking him follow-up questions about things he talked about. Like, what did you mean when you talked about that? And he's like, well, I was trying to be maybe more poetic and quaint, but like the moral, the core moral is this, and like trying to explain like the, you know. And there's people who are concerned, like, you know, I'm scared, like, you know, we don't feel we're safe. It's like, you know, I understand we're all in the same place, you know, like there's no need to be worried with some of the best city guard here. The Pekka Knights have protected us. You know, there's been a few people who unfortunately have passed, but it's a small number considering the magnitude of the attacks, and it's a real a mixing pot of conversation you can pick up on just, you know, by being around him.
I'll approach Cyrus. Well, you made quite an impression on the church, no?
The songs here seem a lot more timid than what I'm used to.
Don't get me wrong. I had to change half the words because where I come from, these songs are drinking games and a little bit more lively. But it is not my chosen religion, but it's a little bit more reserved. Maybe next time we maybe not draw so much attention to ourselves.
I think next time I'll just stay outside. He closes the book and puts it down.
Or just stay on the back row and draw less attention. It is not your fault. These people, they seek peace and solitude in their grot. You, I imagine, seek something else in your gods.
I tend not to focus too much on the gods. I find that I can understand people believing that a higher power can help them, bring them peace or whatever it is that they seek. But personally, I've never found that, well, no matter how hard you pray, they just don't answer these days, so what's the point?
That is true. That is why I worship the goddess of death. Death is always going to answer, even when you're not expecting it.
Maybe that's one god I could get behind.
I'd be happy to talk about it anytime. I followed her for a number of years.
I can't see the others. I assume that they've slipped in.
I believe we should follow.
Yeah.
Volger probably has been in there for some time. You know what he's like. He's probably napping.
We're fawning over his new sword.
Yes, he does have a weird relationship with that sword.
Head to the secret passage.
Slip in.
Yep.
Yeah.
You two can both make stealth checks. Well, the people are still trickling out. You do need to obviously avoid drawing too much attention.
Down here. Do I have time to look at the walls?
14.
Stealthy boy! Very stealthy boy!
Very stealthy.
Wouldn't
I
be
got a
enough
14.
time you could have done it back at the police at the guard barracks. Yeah, it's still more than that. You two slip in, seemingly undetected. You go down shortly after Astra and Atlas. As you come down, Astra and Atlas are probably moving to the middle chamber. Kind of the main chamber just beyond. And as the door swings open, you hear Volgir is trying to scare both of them, probably.
Yeah.
Oh.
Volgir, make an intimidation check with advantage. And then Atlas and Astra, you can make a wisdom saving DC 13.
But I just picture Astra being like, smack.
Atlas is not scared at all, but Astra, you
Atlas
do
with
shit
that
yourself a
does
little
not
bit.
even flinch. He like jumps out in front of her and she's like, hey.
I've trying to think what Ash would do if she was scared, like jump scared.
I like to
Yeah, I
imagine
feel like
she
she would
jumps and the
automatically-
squirrel jumps like from her jump.
That and then Ash automatically like goes to hit with the hammer. It's like fuck.
Atlas,
You took your time.
you cannot see that Atlas rolls her eyes, but she just looks at you like, yeah, I grew up with brothers, you're gonna have to do better than that.
Good to know.
Keep trying though.
This is very good to know.
And as Cyrus comes down the stairs, she'll turn and be like, and there's the singer himself, Prince of this cathedral.
I thought my rendition was rather good.
I could hear you all the way down here.
God.
Good.
Honestly, switched religions 7 times.
The walls were threatening to cry.
I think Saparna herself has now abandoned this place.
Cyrus just chuckles to himself.
Right, shall we get on and look at this tunnel?
Yeah, let's go.
I've been waiting here for fucking ever, because you guys are slow as fuck.
Look, I thought that I had sat through the last thing that I had sat through, and Jesus Christ, it's even longer here.
I quite enjoyed the sermon. It's the only time I can.
Down the tunnel.
I just like the hymns.
I'm
Stop playing
gonna
with your
start
toys
walking
then.
in the tunnel.
Ash was gonna be actively looking out to see if like
Beerus, are you coming?
the person.
I am, but I'm
down
going
this
to have to
way.
go in the middle because I cannot see a thing.
I can see. I'll go at the front with my lightning sword.
Alrighty, and
I
as
can
they
cast
begin
lights.
moving down the tunnel, let's take a little break. Alrighty. So you all continue trekking down this tunnel, which moves onward about 30 foot or so, before it begins to change from this kind of roughly dug tunnel to smooth stone. And it comes out of the T-junction slightly higher than the actual tunnel itself, almost coming in like at the 45 degrees in the roof. The tunnel you're in is like a perfect circle, a perfect cylindrical tunnel that you find yourself in. You see the lights here are like these like purple glowing flames that seem to burn despite having no obvious source of fuel. Yeah, you kind of all there. The tunnel moves to the left and to the right.
Is there like an obvious like beaten path that people have been walking?
Make me
I'm
gonna do this in-
survival check.
Any preference on left or right, or just guess it? Or are you
14?
rolling?
Let's see if there's,
14
we're gonna see if there's
abstract.
any tracks.
Well, there are. It is obviously most people can like travel along this thing by walking on the lowest level along the plane of gravity. Unfortunately, because it is smooth stone, there's no like sunken in footprints or even obvious way to tell where. You can see it's like a keypad that's been worn down. You can see the buttons that have been pressed, but you don't know the order. Like you don't know where they're going left or right from you. But there's definitely people who traveled here long enough to wear it down longer than the walls of the ceiling has been worn down. So patrols are probably fairly constant to you soon.
I wonder if it's worth us waiting out here, waiting for them to come back into the tunnel.
Volgar already waited this long and nobody came. I think we just need to forge ahead.
I say we do roll of chance. Odds and evens.
Sure.
Odd left.
I do have dice.
Odd left. Even right. Right, it is.
Okay. Volgir, you begin leading the group, heading down to the right. The tunnel is not straight. It always has a slight bend to it, but it goes left, right, and kind of leads along, making it hard to see more than about maybe like 25, 30 foot in front of you at a time. The tunnel winds and snakes, goes back on itself.
Should we be stealthing? Are we stealthing?
No one is that there's.
Should
Stealth.
we be stealthing? Or at least trying?
Stealth.
We
I'm gonna
can
cast
try.
guidance on myself again.
Yes, Atlas. High five.
Yeah. High five breaks the stealth.
Cyrus, go back to the temple and start annoying them.
Stealth is one of the things I'm good at.
I would say.
Apparently not.
Apparently
And that's
not.
funny.
Alrighty, so as you all quietly move through these tunnels to find your way, at one point you hear moving towards you. Excuse me. You hear moving towards you. You hear moving towards you the sounds of metal-clad individuals, kind of like patrolling, heading your direction. You can hear them echoing from the tunnel. You're not quite sure how far away
Is
they
there
are.
any alcoves to dip into?
Perfectly smooth, round.
Are we much further from where we were?
This is about 60 foot of movement from the original entrance. You could double back.
Might be worth doubling back and ducking in.
Let's double back.
Sure.
Okay.
You double back, retracing your steps. Volgir, do you take point on the retreat, or do you hold the now rear guard?
I'll hold rear guard because I can see where. Who Well, I'm gonna
You have the
whisper.
best
Can
of
anyone
them.
else see?
I think
well,
everyone
I can-
except Barros can see, but I think
But
as a dwarf,
Barros is
you
in the
have
middle.
best.
Right.
I thought
I'll
it's
hold the
tunnels
rear
in
guard then. If they get close, I'll hold them. I'm gonna
I imagine
slowly
it was
draw my sword.
Volgir, Astra, Barros, Atlas, Cyrus. I imagine was the original order that we went into the tunnels.
The tunnels are 10 foot wide, by the way, like a perfect 10
Oh,
foot
okay.
diameter. So you can go 2 and 2 if you desire. Yep. So who is leading then on the retreat back?
I'll lead.
Yeah, sure. Cyrus
I got a good
will.
sight.
Atlas, make me a wisdom survival check, please.
So just a regular.
I
I just realised. Were we meant to roll a level up?
Only when
Yes,
you,
that's when we
have a
long
rest.
rest.
I shot myself there because I thought it was.
Have we long rested yet? We haven't
Nope.
really, have we?
No.
No,
Oh,
short
yeah.
rested.
So my current hit points still the same. That's
Atlas, you
Yeah.
follow the tunnel back the way you came, and as you get back to where you had come through, you can't see that hole in the tunnel as if it's not there. You know it's like somewhere in this area, but like the wall looks smooth all the way around.
I start feeling around to see if I can feel a
Make an investigation
switch
check.
or something that'll. Would anyone like to help me?
Astral
Help you with
assist
what?
was like feeling.
I'll help you to make sure you've not passed the area.
Sure.
I'll keep the hand out that I know which way we're meant to be going.
18 on the investigation check, Atlas. You feel around desperately trying to find any catch or like a lever you might have missed that might have close behind you. And as you do so, your claw and your
Just
hand
passes through.
goes straight through an illusionary wall.
Okay, I walk through the illusion.
You have to pull yourself up. It's about 4 foot.
Mhm.
You have to pull yourself up into the tunnel again, and then you watch as Atlas just phases into the wall, and then maybe your hand might come back down to pick anything else up.
This
next.
like creepy long hand just like appears back out of the wall and just like gestures you forward.
Now that Atlas has revealed to be an illusion, you see it almost becomes translucent. It appears that these tunnels are some kind of like an illusion enchantment on that's fairly obvious based on the initial assessment, but how they work exactly is still over your heads at the moment.
Yeah, Cyrus will go through as well.
Astral will go through,
And then Barros.
dragging Barros by the hand. It's like, come on, let's go.
Oh.
I'll follow up, and I'll stand on the corner,
Yep, you stay
just
until that.
inside the illusion.
Yep, and you wait and you pause. Would anyone like to make an Arcana check at all to try to determine anything with this, or are we happy to?
I'll try.
Astral.
Yeah, Cyrus is not too good at Arcana.
Neither
Then
am I.
Atlas and
Neither's
Astra can
Astra,
roll.
so
15 and 17. What's weird about this is, whenever you came through the illusion, you suppose you didn't have much reason to look at, but you do remember still seeing it there, like almost that translucent thing. The second you lost like an
Direct
actual
eye
direct
line.
eye line on it, and then came back, it seemed to have like vanished, which would make it very difficult and very easy to get disorientated in a place like this. But as you wait and wait, Volgar, you the first will be the C because of your position.
Mm-hmm.
Coming around the bend that you just retreated back from, 2 individuals clad in breastplates. These individuals are armed with. They don't have any weapons immediately out on their person, but you see they have a long sword on their hip, as well as some kind of like you would recognize to be a firearm, but not as long as the musket or eldritch cannon that was being used by the artificer back at his shop. This basically more like a handgun, effectively, on the other hip. And they are simply marching to a stride, each side of the tunnel, and they're just walking in route.
Do they look like one of the sheriff's men?
Based on their livery, yes, they appear to be members.
I'm going to turn around and go, it's the sheriff's men. Do we want to stop them and say hi?
If you want.
Why would we do that?
Well,
Why
we're
not?
to
I don't
trespass.
think we're supposed to be down here, even if we are with the sheriffs.
True.
maybe just let them
You would
walk
all
and we
hear-
can update
They're
the
the
sheriff.
ones who sent us.
You would all
here.
hear, only those who speak Elvish though would actually understand.
We hear.
But they begin to speak in the whole shop, and you hear, this is Lunar 2, finishing Patrol 5, reaching a suspected breach point, going to investigate.
They're gonna find us
Wow.
either way.
You recall that you had given
Yeah,
direct
they told us
information
about
to the sheriff's men. That's
Sorry,
the breach here.
I'm gonna walk.
Atlas sticks her hand out through the
Yeah.
illusion and waves.
I'm
Hey.
just gonna step out and just go, hello. We gave the sheriff the information.
I need Volgir to make a persuasion check with disadvantage because Atlas is speaking
Atlas
fucking
is trying to
ghost hand.
freak him out.
uh,
Creepy little owl hands.
persuasion.
Yeah.
Oh, you bastard! And that one.
Oh.
Disadvantage and
And
that
then that
one.
20.
You jump down, Volgir, and although it's a split
As
second
he
decision.
jumps down, the little creepy hand appears above him, and they're like, "Fuck no!"
They see this weird hand first, and then you suddenly appear, and you watch as one of them, who's like the closest one to the wall you're in, draws his blade, and he brings it up to a defensive stance. The other one takes his the pistol off his belt, levels it, and just shoots Atlas in the hand. And he
Jesus.
aims to.
My hand.
I
I thought you weren't allowed cold shots.
Atlas, to hit you, that is going to be a 15.
I thought you weren't allowed cold shots.
Well, he's aiming for you in particular, but
He
can-
misses.
Yeah, the shot easily goes wide.
A
as you-
shot fires like over her shoulder into the tunnel where everyone else is.
The little thing ricocheting down. The one with the sword drawn pauses, and then as the bullet has passed through, the illusion from their perspective seems to obviously fade. They can then see from the tunnel as well, partially. And he then immediately, as the sword comes up in a defensive stance, goes, "Someone's here," into the shop. Luna 2, say again, we have a breach.
Hello.
Right, someone. I will not draw my weapon just yet. I'm going to try and keep my hands away from the hilt, but I'll be ready to if I need to.
We're searching this place.
I'm
for
just gonna
Sheriff
look at them and
Cyril
just go-
Loro, badge number 3475.
And I'm just going to point at the wall that's just spoken from beside me.
Make me a check with advantage, Atlas.
Badge number coming in clutch. Hang on. Oh, it's been so long.
And remember, if you're rolling with advantage, you can hold shift when you click, and it will
No.
automatically.
I think if you right click, you can also select advantage.
With an 18, they pause long enough to go. Hold on. What's your names? Identify yourself.
Atlas Murrow.
Logan.
Astra.
Cyrus Ravenmar.
Mirror's Dogfoot.
Any more of you back there?
No,
He's
that's it.
She has a squirrel, but I don't know its name.
He's called Pip.
Nibbles.
This is Luna 2. We have a group of individuals claiming to be on duty with the sheriff. 5 individuals in particular: Atlas, Volgir, Astra, Cyrus, and Veros, and a squirrel, please. Can we get a confirmation that they have permission to be in the lunar tunnels or not? Over. And then you hear,
No.
copy Luna 2, we're gonna have to reach out to Sheriff here. Very unorthodox, whatever the fuck's going on down there. Can you just
In
keep
our
them held
defense,
for
we
now?
were not in the lunar tunnels.
Just keep them held
Well,
for
I
now,
am
please,
is-
until we can further advise. Advise you place under temporary arrest. Over.
Oh.
And the individuals say like, "You should copy, so we'll do our best." If
It's
you
5
are
people versus 2.
Scatter!
truly working for the sheriff, would you mind hopping down into the tunnel, please?
I'll hop
yeah.
down.
Are you telling us to enter the area that we shouldn't
Yeah.
be in?
No, I'm telling you to move in the tunnel, please.
If we move into this tunnel,
Okay.
are you gonna arrest us for being in the tunnel?
No, we're just gonna. I'm just trying to stop you from having an easy way out. I'm just gonna hold you here, just so we
Well,
can see you.
I'm just going to put my
Can we be held in
hand
here
through
instead?
the
There's
illusion
beds.
and just go, here you go, there's the illusion, and I can see it.
I'm just waiting for my superior to come back with the information to confirm what you said is true or false. If it's true, you shouldn't even worry about. But if it's false, I will need to apprehend you. That's why I'm simply trying to ask you very politely to move from the side tunnel that you're in into the main tunnel here, please. Just form up a line against
Cyrus will like push past people and just hop down into the tunnel
If
and
I'm
just
arrested,
lean
will it be
against
put
the
on my
wall.
record?
only if you've committed a crime.
Sweet. She like jumps
Come
down,
on,
like
guys, it's
she
not-
jumps
it's not
down,
like we've been
approaches, and is
arrested
like,
before.
can you put it on there anyway?
Why do you want a record?
I just think it'd be.
And I just bonk. I'm going to bonk Atlas on the head.
Puts her hands, and she's like, careful. Yeah. And, like gestures like the
stop being
mask
silly.
and like the hose. Is like,
Stop being silly then.
You are held.
just asking
Hey,
if I'm
listen.
being arrested.
You're held in the tunnel for a long 5 minutes. The guards move basically to cover the entry you came in via.
Alice starts asking their names.
Hey, your
Uh,
name and badge number,
Their
please.
names and badge numbers.
These guards identify themselves only as Lunar Guards 2-1 and 2-2.
She will follow up by asking them if they have names or whether those are their names.
No, we have names. Those are simply our call signs, and that's all you would need to know.
How tall are you?
Are you asking GM or are you asking the
I'm asking the guards. How tall are they?
well, I'm, like a good height for an elf. I'm
It's very defensive.
5'11".
I don't know if that is a good height for an elf.
And the
You,
upper
how
one's
tall are you?
the other one's a bit taller. He looks to be about 2 inches taller.
Does he answer or I'm just not like,
Yeah, he'll be like, yeah, I'm 6 foot.
Alright then. You seem very defensive of your height. You shouldn't have to feel bad about being shorter.
Hey, look, I'm a short person.
No, I'm not. Just that's the height that I am.
I know, but you
It's just
You're
a
a
weird
dwarf,
question
you're
to be
meant to be
asked. I
short.
mean, you can see how tall I am.
I don't have a tape measure.
It's not like
on
you're
me.
messaging me on like Hollow Tinder or anything. Like, come on, I'm physically here in front of you.
Okay, first of all, I'm not allowed Hollow Tinder.
How old are you?
Shut up. How old are you? Huh? How old are you, Cyrus?
27.
You're 27?
Yes.
You act
Oh
like
my
you're
god,
40.
I'm with kids.
Astro was like, I'm
Hang
20.
on, I have to add this to your file.
Age
Starts-
doesn't equate.
What do you have there?
It does like
What
rapid.
is that?
Age doesn't.
Hell.
It's a spell.
age
Is it a
doesn't
spell book? Put that down.
No, it's a notebook. Calm down.
27.
He likes writing things.
27.
Age doesn't equal
I'm
life
curious as to what's
experience.
in it, to be fair.
How tall are you? Cyrus, how
How tall am I?
how tall are you?
6'1".
She like squints at you like for a second, kind of compares you like against the guard, like, yeah, that checks out.
Cyrus is definitely taller than the guard who said he was 6 foot by probably about an inch.
Oh,
The guard who claimed he was 5 foot.
oh he's like significant.
The guard who claimed he was about 5'11". He's probably close to about 5'8" if Cyrus is saying.
Alice calls him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's the height that I am. It's just I measure
I'm
myself.
making notes that are very important here. Don't lie to me.
You're the one who's being held by the guard.
You're lying under
It makes this
duress.
everybody. Don't be worried.
I'm not under
Wait.
duress.
Can I point out we're being? Can I point out we're being voluntarily held? Because to be honest, there's 2 of you and there's 5 of us. Worst case scenario, and like we just be here because we want to be here and we don't really want to fight.
Yes, sir. I'm aware. I'm just waiting to get the call. And as he says that, the call comes through in the form of a voice you recognize. You hear, escort them out of the bloody tunnels, please. No, they should not be down there. They're looking into some things regarding the current terrorist activity, but can we not compromise the city's safety, please? Get them out on the street level. I will meet them.
We're near the temple.
You can meet us at the tavern where you first met us.
Yeah.
They're recommending meeting at the tavern where you first met them? Fine, actually not a bad shout. Galandan's it
They'll be
is.
wearing a red carnation.
What?
She can't hear you. It's not a loudspeaker.
Worth a try.
Yeah, we'll bring him up to you. Alright. We are going to...
Wait, did he say deer?
No, we said we're gonna take you up there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So back the way we came.
Is it safe? What is that?
Yeah. The
A
temple.
terrorist
The
hideout
temple.
with a dead body in it.
Okay, then no. Not that way. That's a terrible idea.
Okay.
well, it's clear because we just
I
came
thought
from
we
that
weren't
way.
allowed in the tunnels.
It's fine. You're already in them. Let's move. And he turns and he points. Everyone's like, "What's that? I will get them to the surface as quick as I can and be back as soon as possible." Seems like it's quiet enough. I'm just moving around.
Oh,
Any problems?
just warning. Every time you look away, like you walk at a distance, you won't see it again. So it's advisable to have one person there and
Yes,
just wave your hand through it.
No, we that's
They did that.
how the tunnels work. Hang on, I'll show you.
So this
And,
isn't a secret entrance. This is how the tunnels actually work.
Well, no, that entrance is a secret, but it's easier if I just show you. And he begins walking, and the tunnel weaves and winds and weaves and winds, and you walk for about the guts of 5 minutes. And as you walk, you see coming up on your right-hand side of the tunnel the guard who he left posted in a perfect loop. There are no exits or other passages that intersect this single circular route.
Oh, so that must go. Ooh.
Like a freaky circle.
That must go all the way around all the islands and underneath all the islands.
No,
Guessing.
this is exclusively on the moon. But
Ah.
you need just the right memory to know.
Thank
where
you for
are.
all this information.
This is not much information, believe me. The whole point of these tunnels is to lose and disorientate yourself. Because if you press the wrong brick, you won't know where you're going next.
It's a bit. It makes a bit of a difference when you got a bit of a map.
A map would definitely help, but a map doesn't really help when it comes to this bit. And he turns to his left, probably about like 30 foot short. He probably doubles back a little bit down the tunnel, and then turns his left and looks at the wall. And there's maybe about floor to ceiling, it's 10 foot tall. They're probably about like 20 odd bricks between the ground and the surface. And he reaches out and touches one of them, then another one, then another one, then another one, and then he touches them all in reverse. And then
Volgir will try and remember this order.
Intelligence check.
I'm not that bad. Yes!
Anyone?
Come on!
Here, you remember the combination for
Right.
this entry point. So note down that you have Lunar 1 entry code.
Lunar 1 entry code.
Yep. And as he does it, the illusion that he's touching that seemed to have physical restraint, you hear the illusion seems to persist, and he just walks through. Going back to the first.
I'm making it very big and bold, but I remember it.
Following.
Are we meant to follow him?
Come inside.
Are we allowed to follow you?
Yeah,
Yes,
follow.
come in this way. We're going this way.
Something tells me we're going to the center of the island.
I think we're just going up, aren't we?
Yeah, you come in. As you pass through the illusion, you find yourself in a tunnel very similar to the one you just left, 10 foot wide. This one you can see the translucent illusion behind you just passed through, and you see as you all clear it, maybe after about 10-15 seconds, the door closes shut behind itself, and you watch the illusion reseals over itself again. He walks down the tunnel, which eventually seems to slowly gradient itself up, almost like a corkscrew, like a winding corkscrew. And after a short while, you come to basically another solid form of bricks. Again, it's the same combination as before, Volgear, you would recognize. And then this one opens, and you find yourself in a dark, dimly lit tunnel. As he steps out, looks around left and right, gestures you all come quickly through, and then the door seals shut behind, pauses a little bit longer, and as you find yourself kind of like this dark tunnel, there's like seems like canvas trying to drape over, and as he throws open the canvas itself, you find yourself leaving what is effectively a merchant's stall, like a heavily tarped over merchant's stall. You don't recognize where you are. There's no sunlight here. The air is musty and tepid, and as you kind of begin moving, he was like, "All right then, we need to get a move on, get out of the Undercity. Come on, chop chop." And you see you are in a subterranean city here. There are buildings built into the walls. There are people getting trade where you come out, and yeah, you see the people here are primarily a mixed area of a lot of moon elves are here. There's also a strong concentration of a few Shadow Kai as well. It's kind of like lingering around in the dark.
Would I be quite happy in this kind of darkness? And
yeah, definitely. It doesn't strike as warm as the home of the Underdark. It's definitely not as deep by any means. You're still thousands of miles in the air. But yeah, it is welcome to find the warmth of stone and dirt above your head, I think.
Yeah. I'm going to keep my eye out for anything interesting as we pass all the stalls.
So if the map that we find isn't of the tunnels, it might be of the sub-city.
Leading you through.
I didn't even know that was an Undercity.
And
No, neither did I.
the stairs that he eventually takes you towards, which is only a short trot away. You see there's an iron portcullis across them, and it's watched by two members of the city guard. As he approaches, you watch as they prepare to open it. He presents some form of identification. They open the gate. He passes through, brings you all with him, and they close it behind. There's then a secondary gate where you represent the identification at the top of the stairs, forming an airlock system. Then they also let you through. And you rise up back to the main city itself. You find you're coming out of what has been elegantly disguised as kind of like a gated off side alley of a building that you would expect to leave for like a back courtyard or bins that be kept. It's almost like just so perfectly flush and kept out of the way.
They're gone alley.
Yeah, very similar. But yeah, you were led up and out back to the main city proper itself. Vulgar, looking around in there, not much really is happening down in the city at the moment. There's nothing weird or starting to catch your attention.
Right. Can I see if I can grab a
You do spot
glance?
3 people coming down who do not look like guards. As you leave and the gate is closed behind you, they present their identification and the gate is open for them. And then they look a bit scruffy and a bit.
Can I try and get a look at what their identification kind of consists of?
Yep. Make me a perception.
Perception check. Do. I'll take that.
It is a.
I'm liking my dice tonight.
It appears to be a file on their holostrap.
Oh.
So it presents.
I'm still a bit scared to roll.
And of the 21, I'll say it presents their name, their race, their occupation, and finally their home address. Which
what
21,
kind of
I will say.
With
21, I'll say you would summarize the home address does state that it is in the Undercity.
Right. And what would I kind of see in terms of occupations and whatnot?
Occupations, you only really get a good look at one of them. The one you get a good look at, he appears to be a city, like a street sweep, like so a cleaner.
Okay.
As we're leaving, Alice will like tug on the sleeve of one of the guards. Be like, is this illegal? What's happening?
No, the Undercity is simply quite dangerous. We try to keep the individuals who live there isolated. It minimizes crime across.
I like this place. It reminds me of home.
It's
So
a ghetto.
slum.
Again, it reminds me of home.
Any of you who flew into the city, which would be all of you, because
All of us.
arrived by a
Nobody's
cab or airship,
from here.
you would recall seeing on the underside of the city there were like windows carved out of the rock and things like that, probably of abodes and shops that are in the undercity themselves. But yeah, definitely being below the main street level comes at a severe drop in price.
Do you think houses that have windows in the undercity are like the posher ones? It's like, yeah, I live in the undercity, but I have a window, so
It's whether or not they have a window to the outside, like open air, or whether it's a window to.
it's like you living in a flat but
Isn't
having a
that more of a
balcony. You know,
trapdoor?
you're like, yeah, I live in a one-bed flat, but I have a balcony.
A balcony to the upper world.
Yeah, but you are currently on the Moon Isle.
Are we free to go?
You're free to go. Sheriff says you meet you at the tavern. I advise you meet him there. If you don't, you may find yourselves in a bit of difficulty when you next encounter us in places you shouldn't be.
Alright, bye.
I'm gonna
21
wander.
and 22. I hope you come to terms with your height one day.
Can I remember what the average cost was for a good pint?
A good pint of gallon dance?
Yeah.
I don't believe it was incredibly pricey. I think for a good price that was kind of put up to was like 20 chits, like 2 silver. Just like it's not like mad.
Right, I'm gonna give them a gold each and thank them for thank you for the time and say get himself a nice drink for that.
Appreciate it. Look after yourself and trying to go wander.
I'll lean over to Volga. Did you just try to bribe them?
No. I'm returning the favor for them getting us out of there and showing us more things than they needed to.
We'll see if it works as a bribe later.
Bribe requires payment up front. I'm giving them a reward. There's a difference.
A long-term investment.
Exactly.
I still call it a bribe.
You're
And
just
I'm going to start
soft
walking
in your
gallon dance.
I will turn to the group. By the way, something that I'm a little confused at. The tunnels that the Dryad Stairs try to use to navigate, someone would have to know extensively how to use them to navigate them, especially if they're using codes. So someone from the Dryad Stair definitely has inside knowledge.
Unsurprising. If they're willing to lie about their height, they're probably willing to lie about anything.
And it would have to be higher than a patrol, because the patrol only assume they only know a certain route.
They would have to at least know the patrol routes and the.
And I'm gonna look around. Is the guards gone?
Right,
I imagine this is as we're heading towards.
I'm gonna turn around to the lot once he's gone and out of earshot. I'm gonna turn around to them and go. And just a note, I managed to remember that password. So if we ever want to go back down there, we can do.
As long as we can get past the guards in the Undercity.
If we can sell our usefulness to the sheriff, perhaps she will allow
We're not
us.
going to sell our usefulness by being late.
No, so let's get moving.
Let's go.
Hoofing it to Galandans.
To the
Move back.
bar.
Specifically, the
Square.
statue is hoofing it, the rest of us are regular feetsing it. Except me, I guess. I'm birding it.
Howling in it.
Helming? I don't know.
You head back to Galandans, the lovely tavern, kind of at the Allure Square. You see this lovely two-story marble building, the orange shingled roof, small vegetable garden. Coming inside, your nose is filled with not the smell of battle or war as it was perhaps the previous time, but back to the warm smell of the fire burning, the shields hanging on the walls. You see Galandan behind the bar himself, pouring a drink. People eating, drinking. It seems to be almost back to the merriment. There is a slight undertone here of what had happened the previous day, but it's not overly marred. The patronage.
Do we see the sheriff?
Quick scan around. Sat up in one of the corner tables. On the right hand side, immediately as you come in on the raised area, you see she's sat tucked in a corner, arms crossed, and she notably doesn't have anything in front of her.
I want to grab a drink and sit down.
Go to the bar, order a drink. If you're just getting a regular old pint, probably going to cost about 20 chits.
Before he goes to the bar,
I'm just gonna put a gold behind the bar and just say for all my party.
Cyrus is going to go up to the sheriff and basically go, "Can we get you anything before we sit down?" Yeah.
Shit, John.
But I was gonna say before we join you, and then I was gonna say before we sit down, and I kind
Is
of.
that what Cyrus does?
I think you can get you and me a glass of water. Fill you up.
Ooh.
Bit of a side eye, but sure, he'll get 2 glasses of water. He'll get a jug of water and 2 glasses.
What is your wine selection like?
My wine selection is quite something indeed. Any particular vintage or grape you're looking for in particular? I can probably help narrow it down. I mean, it was simply wine with the Expanse.
Got anything from school?
I do have a few old bottles knocking around. A few of the fine vineyards as well as some of the more common. What are you looking for? Red, white, rosé? Give me some hints here. You know, you just told me a whole planet.
Something from the Moreau.
From the Moreau. I do have a bottle. Good year. About 9 years ago now. Beautiful red. Good flavor.
How much for a glass?
Oh no, dear, I would not sell it by the glass.
How much for the bottle?
For the bottle, 3,000 chits.
Good to know what we're at. What's your cheapest one you got? From anywhere.
As cheap a glass of any wine that you would like. We'll call it 15 chits for a small glass.
Excellent. I'm assuming it's bog water.
It is alcoholic and vinaigrette.
Beautiful.
He pours you a wine that you honestly cannot tell if it is white, red, nor rosé. It does not really fit in any of those genres.
Murky.
It is
You get
indeed
a wine.
Wine, technically. Probably grapes in there somewhere.
Smells like wine, doesn't really look like wine. Price like wine. That's about the...
Does it taste like wine?
It tastes like wine. It tastes like bad
I'll
wine.
approach.
Tastes like
Box
red
Galadon.
wine vinegar.
Box wine.
I'll approach Galadan and, kind of in a similar fashion, I'll say, "Do you have anything from Lush for about 240 chits? Bottle?"
A bottle of wine from Lush, yes, locally, a bit more local than the favorited Squall. I do have this golden wine from Lush. If you want. made by the slightly more warm of the Sealy.
And what will that set me back?
For the bottle, a bit more pricey, but based on your action of the day, let's call it a flat 200 chips. I'm not going to break your bank.
200 chits done. I'll transfer 200 chits.
It's
I'll
basically
grab...
a cheap Chardonnay.
Yeah.
It's like, it's gold, it tastes like butter, you know, but it's still...
Still gets you drunk.
It's the price of a pint, you know? It's like, I can get a pint for £4 or a bottle of wine for £4. I'm gonna get a bottle of wine, it's like, oh, she got the pint. Like that.
I'll still go over to Atlas and be like, this may be a little nicer.
Atlas is like smelling her wine and then takes out like her bottle of like hyper alcohol she's sterilized it, like smelling that and is like,
Volga's gonna look at the two people that just bought wine and gone, did you not see me put a gold behind the bar for people to get drinks?
Cyrus is currently pouring a glass of water, passes it to the sheriff, pours himself a glass of water, sets the jug in the middle.
Atlas slides her like ridiculously cheap wine across to Cyrus.
Volga is going to be staring Cyrus from across the, like, staring at the bar going, just watching him pour the water, just like,
did you not see the gold?
To be honest, Volger, I assume the dwarf putting a gold behind the bar meant that he wanted to drink for the night.
I've got plenty more gold. If you want to drink, drink.
I mean, I just put 2 gold down for a bottle of wine that tastes like piss.
When you say you have plenty of gold, you just see Atlas quickly flick through her book and note something down.
How much is a beer?
A beer, it's about 2 silver for a pint, and 220 chips.
2 silver. So 5 pints.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to go up and get 4 more pints and just set them down on the table in a big thump and just go, fine, because you won't get it yourselves. Boom.
The sheriff will take the pint you put in front of Cyrus.
I'm going to push another one in front of Cyrus.
I'm not an alcoholic.
No, you're not an alcoholic.
Enjoying a drink.
The words you said, they weren't the language I'm familiar with, and I don't speak that many, so maybe I'm the one being ignorant. But based on your friends' reactions...
I simply misspoke. I was simply offering you a drink before we joined you.
Well, now we have joined you.
I'm gonna...
We were cold here.
I can't remember. Is the Sheriff Elvish?
She is. She is a 6'3", tanned, freckled complexion, has an auburn pixie cut, amber eyes.
Is she hot though?
She's fairly
female.
She's attractive for an elf.
Elf with
she's a high
what hair?
as well. She's got auburn hair and a pixie cut, big amber eyes.
She sounds hot.
She's a high elf. She's got like chiseled features and long.
Sounds hot. Just anyway.
I'm gonna turn to her and just say in
Elvish, and in Elvish, and just go. My friend needs to learn how to drink.
I'll reply in Elvish back to Vulgar and be like, he's not a drunk, he's just stupid.
And I'll speak to you in Gnomish and just go, you sure about that one?
Cyrus is going to be like looking between the two of them with just like that suspicion of, I feel like they're talking about me, but I don't know what they're saying, so I'm just going to sip my water.
Just repeatedly saying Cyrus multiple times in this sentence.
Something, Cyrus, something.
What was the... It was Sheriff Pumpernickel, that was it.
Sergeant
Pumpernickel.
Sheriff is
Knuckle
Sheriff
or Nickel?
in Alaru.
Oh my god, how the fuck do you spell that one?
Aloro.
And Sylin is spelled Syllli.
You both spelled that way too fast for me to write.
She's on World Anvil.
She is on World Anvil.
Oh, okay. Bye-bye.
I don't know if we can see people on World Anvil, actually.
Cillian Alluro.
Anyway, we were cold here.
Indeed. Yes, you stumbled into the lunar tunnels at the breach that reported to Pimmonacle, which is basically where some tunneling had been going on below the Cathedrals of Parna.
Yes.
Mhm.
The patrol who encountered you were searching for that breach as they
That's
found
why we
it. That's
made ourselves aware to make it easier.
unfortunately, I'm sure you're aware, based on traveling tunnels, it is quite difficult to see if there are any alterations to the original structure. The reason being to hide more vital components. Imagine trying to break into a safe without knowing where the safe is. It makes everything a bit more. Regardless, thank you for your assistance in that matter. Sorry about the holding apprehension. They were under the anticipation that there may be more of the Dryad's Tears working out of that breach, which they are moving to secure. But regardless, it seems like you've made a fair bit of headway in only a day.
I hope you understand we're not here just to just here to do one little simple job. I want to keep going.
Indeed.
I mean, do we? There's this point where we get paid. When do we get paid?
Yes, at some point we would like to be paid, though.
No, I do understand. Once I have the lockdown lifted, I will work on getting the videos. Well, compensated for your actions. Don't worry.
Is that irrespective of what future works is done?
I will pay you for the past work. I will not pay you. I've already paid you in advance, which was partially a little thank you for your work last night here.
Just you were a little vague when you gave us this job about getting more information, so I'm just wondering at what point we have enough information.
Yes.
Or if you're expecting us to take down a terrorist ring, because that might be a little bit above our jurisdiction.
Agreed.
I feel that that us providing you an entryway that you weren't 100% sure existed was a good down payment to future services.
Indeed. I'm having a meeting with the Chancellor tomorrow, and I actually had you summoned here because I was going to invite you to join me.
Okay.
Is that the one
Have you
who's quite
spoke?
a woman?
She is a woman, yes.
Have you spoke with the sergeant yet?
I have brief communication with him on He gave a brief summary of what to expect.
He was the one who gave the quite a woman description as well.
I would never describe Althea as quite a woman. She is impressive, but she is quite powerful.
We do need to find that one elf. We have searched ourselves, and that's why we were down in those tunnels. But we still cannot find the one elf that's remaining.
I don't think a goose chase would benefit anyone here.
No.
If anything, the city is too big for us to go chasing. They will regroup and probably commence the attack.
Mm.
Unless they believe they've been breached.
Expecting some kind of attack on the council buildings, probably more. Partially why I'm asking you to lift me back.
So you want us as bodyguards?
Or bait.
Not necessarily bodyguards and not necessarily
Extra hands.
I was more thinking of people there who have an interest in what happens to the people who pay their wage.
Well, obviously that depends on the wage.
We can't get paid if the people are dead, so...
Yes. But if we're only going to get paid a copper, then it's different.
Well, I think we're going to get paid more than a copper. And if not, then, we can kill a few people and make it a difference up, yes?
That would not be necessary. I already did transfer you each 100 chits in advance. the agreement originally was 400 chits for your assistance in dealing with these threats, which I do think we have found some way.
No, the original agreement was 2,000.
2,000 each?
Yes.
Yeah, notes have been made.
That's no problem. Then
I was like furiously playing like, ah!
consider this as your forward then, and she transfers you all 400 chits.
Nice.
What's that in?
It's
400 copper.
400 copper.
Which is 40 gold, which is
4
4 gold.
40 silver.
I'm keeping it as copper for easy math.
It also tells you the top in gold, it tells you it in gold pieces as well at the top.
Yeah, I know, but I'm stupid. Cyrus isn't, but I'm stupid.
I mean, you're a barbarian, so you're probably at least a little stupid, right?
You've got me adding notes.
Cyrus
to
is more
session
intelligent than Kaz.
Kaz was not very intelligent, that's a very low bar.
And this is true.
Kaz actively got less intelligent as we played.
He gave up some. He actually no. He always put ability of score improvement into intelligence, but then Harry came up with a scenario where he's like, "Sure, give me some of your intelligence, and I'll help you with this situation." So what did Kaz, as the good person he did? He gave up the intelligence he worked so hard to earn.
So basically, Kaz was all brawn, no brain.
But very likable. He had great charisma.
I
He
DM
tried to kill
railroaded
many
him into a
people.
himbo, but like, that's regardless. So, she charges you the money in advance. She says, if you'd like to meet me tomorrow, I will meet you outside the council buildings on the southeastern side. We're heading together.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Very
Sounds
well.
like a plan.
What time do we need to be there? Roughly.
I'll be there most of the morning. I can keep an eye.
Sunrise?
What
Just
time
after
are
sunrise?
What time are you meeting the counselor?
Sunrise groups.
The meeting was scheduled for around 9 a.m.
Okay.
So sunrise will meet.
Do hollow straps have a clock on them?
Yes,
Nice.
localized.
Alarm set.
Alarm set. Volume loud.
Olga's gonna set his alarm for sunrise
No
and
snooze.
determine that he's gonna go out and check the area
hollow
first.
strap that you have, if you kind of imagine, it is like the best way is like a Pip Boy on your forearm.
How close did I get with my illustration?
Pretty close. A large screen dominates the majority of it. There are some knobs and buttons, things like that. There are also two.
I can see a pixel.
What could easily
Well,
be
if I get
mistaken
any
as
closer, it just vanishes.
what could easily be mistaken as like pressure gauges almost, but they are two clocks, and one is the universal expansial time, and that is set by the Umphalos, and the other is the local planetary time, which is like so obviously if it is nighttime on one side of the planet where you are, you can like sync your watches in a sense, keep track, but still know what time it is universally.
I'm gonna turn to the sheriff and say, I plan to get there at sunrise. I want to do a bit of scouting at the area. I would be helpful if you could let your people know that I will be there, so I don't get arrested again.
Technically,
They
we
may
would
attempt to
be,
stop
we
you, but
weren't
then
arrested.
probably once they have done the necessary checks, there will not be an issue.
That's
Next time you find yourselves being restrained or being held by guards, I did give you my e-sign decree yesterday, which none of you thought to use.
We weren't sure if that covered the tunnels.
It would have
It's
covered you to a degree. At least it would have validated your statements. They wouldn't have had to call me up directly, which made it a bit.
right. So we'll remember that.
Tomorrow, if
Was
you
it
do
not
get any
like a
problems,
one-time
with
use?
that. Yes,
Can you
once
check to see if there's an arrest on my record?
I can check. Sure.
Should there be?
And if we're checking records, please don't check mine. No reason. No reason.
Cyrus is asking Atlas,
I
should
was
there
like
be?
bouncing a little bit in excitement.
Atlas Moreau, yeah?
Yes.
On the Omphalos amalgamate database, there are a few records of your name popping up. However, the core one is a missing person.
Nope, cut it.
Okay, well, that is the only thing.
She like flaps her hands like over the screen.
The illusion, like pickles.
Can I ask?
Nothing about that.
You asked.
Is there anywhere that maybe someone from myself that is used to the kind of dark that may be able to spend a bit of his time in the city?
Could you make your way into the Undercity? I would not recommend it personally. It is a bit rough and ready.
Well, I can take care of myself.
Fair enough. Then,
Would you? Is there something that you could arrange?
My e-decree would let you in. The problem with those is they are single use to keep them timestamped. I could get you in. If you do wish to ever leave, simply request me with the guards and I will organize your exit shortly after. But the decree will get you in, but getting out might be more of a wait.
You can't add us to some sort of list or anything like that to ease of access?
Unfortunately, no. The due to both the proximity to the Undercity tunnels and the mage maintenance tunnels, in addition to the general increased crime rate of the individuals down there, it's not really advisory to put anyone on a all-access pass unless they are residents.
I'm not talking all access. Maybe restricted access pass.
That is what I'm saying. I'm saying with the East Side Decree, it will get you in. Even if you want to leave, go to any of the gates, state my name. I will send word, either a deputy or myself. I will come release you from the airlock itself. We'll simply lock it down. You'll be very safe. There'll be no risk of anyone getting in or harming you in that time. It'll just be a bit of a delay to get you out. The reason being, let's say you went down there with this handrail. Some people down there are very, very smart. They would not stop at cutting your arm off to get that little thing on your wrist so they could have free access. Having me coming down, verify it myself, it just guarantees the safety of you and everyone else. If you only have a one-time pass to get in, you are no value to anyone to get out.
What would you be able to issue one just for specifically to access the Undercity?
That is what I'm talking about.
But the one that you've given us is it's useful for other things.
Yes,
I'm talking about one that's just useful for that one.
The Eastern Decree, I can only load one on a hollow strap.
Right.
Okay. I could either give you a guard level clearance, which would be different on that module. But the problem is, if I give you that, you become a target. With a singular use, much severely less so, because it is less flexible. The problem with the delay, getting locked down, held areas, things like that. The people who would like to have the all access will not really be that nigh. And even, locals in the city, the guards are there, but they police themselves.
So come and see you every time I go down there.
Indeed, yes, either myself, or even if before you go down, state my name before. I would always advise going down without anything loaded on there, just to minimize any unwanted damage.
Right. Okay. I will bear that in mind.
Alright, well then I will see you all tomorrow morning, unless there's anything else I can do for you.
See you tomorrow.
I'm good. You can have another drink. I'm going to slide another pint over.
I had to get it going home. I have an early day tomorrow. Good night.
Oh, okay. I'm going to take it back
Alice will duck
have a drink.
Her, and try and make it look to the others like she's just heading to the bar, but like slip out after her.
Can I do a perception check?
You can do a stealth check, Atlas.
What kind of stuff?
And then, anyone's passive perception, I guess, would be the probably best.
14, so no.
Yeah, 13.
Because, Atlas is like, I can
same.
get a drink.
Asher
and then
doesn't get there.
Atlas, you
Yeah,
follow her
mine's
into the street.
11.
Yeah, I just stop her. It's like, Can you see who posted that missing persons report?
I can definitely have a look. It was someone by the name of Micaiah.
Yeah, okay. That's okay. That's fine. That's okay.
It was posted about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, okay. God, really? 2 weeks? Not a lot of thing. Okay, thank you. I better get back.
What?
And she'll duck back inside and go up to the bar and get a drink.
Yep, go back. Put on some money for a drink, I suppose.
Nah, I'm using his gold.
Oh, there you go. You go to use
Finally!
you go to use his gold, and the Galdan goes, "Oh dear, I'm so sorry. He actually cashed it in for a full round of drinks for the table."
Damn.
I'm gonna throw another gold.
Across the bar. And then Galdan ding, catches it, goes like, "Good news! He just gave me another gold and nearly took out my right eye."
Atlas will get a pint.
Yep. Even the sun, who's still off the tab. Yeah, you
As she takes her pint, she tries to take it away where she wears the Moreau ring like on her finger. She tries to take it away where it's like obvious to him to see if he like picks up on it. Like faces it out to him, but like pressed.
Galdan is not surprised.
Aww. Takes it.
The sheriff's gone. Cyrus reaches across the table, grabs a pint, slowly drags it towards himself.
Is that
I'm gonna use up all the money eventually, slowly over the evening. I put behind the bar.
Yep, you all drink, you imbibe, you enjoy.
Chill.
Some of you have rooms already set up for the evening.
Yep.
Is anyone needing to purchase another room?
I believe Cyrus is working with Volnir.
Yep.
Eros has put down money in advance, to my knowledge.
I think Atlas and Astra will.
For 4 days, but I will offer one of my days to Cyrus if I see him trying to bunk with Volga. I paid for 4 rooms. I'm sure that Galavan would not mind you taking one of those rooms off for a night. If he has a spare room.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Not that your offer, it was very kind of you as well, Volnir. Just until we know each other better, I would feel more comfortable sleeping in my own space.
Of course.
And as he's sipping his pint, he's going to look at Atlas and be like, "Missing persons report."
Probably a different Atlas.
Common name.
Probably very common. I mean, like Astra's name is nearly my name already. It's
Yeah, it's fairly confusing at this point.
Probably a very common name. Probably.
I'm gonna roll an insight.
I feel like Astra is too, but I feel like
I believe you.
Wait, it's actually, even though I only have a +1. I swear to God, all of my like charisma-based checks seem to be rolling really well. I've got some like Terran left in me.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that perception check as well. Oh no! Oh, for some reason the perception check is the last thing I saw. It didn't show me anything else.
Yeah, Atlas was just rolling.
I feel like Astra will like this has been fun, but I'm pretty tapped out from the exploits earlier, so I'm gonna head to bed. Just like,
Yeah, I
Alice
think
is gonna
I'm
like
gonna head
look
to bed
across
too.
at Cyrus like and be like, "Yes, me also. I am very tired."
Asher's like, okay. It's just like Pip like curls into a ball with like Pip in front of her. It's like
You
snuggles in.
definitely feel Cyrus's eyes track you. He believes you, but he's like,
He's like, it is
It
probably a
could
common
be a
name, but that was suspicious as shit.
Don't be suspicious.
Yep. Volga is going to go off to bed.
Settles in the room. Oh wait, I have to just ask. Does Pip sleep on the bed?
I feel like Pip sleeps in Astra's hair a little bit, so yes.
Okay, so Alice is going to like register this and be like, and then like wait until Astra falls asleep, and then just silently gather all of her belongings, leave the room, walk to the next door along, and knock. So I don't know whose door that would be. I can roll for it if we want.
Let's roll for it.
What would it be? How many doors is there?
Well, I think
4?
everyone has their own room, right, apart from
Yeah.
you two, so 4. Roll a d6 and then divide by 2.
Right. Oh no, I'm just adding more dice. Hang on. 2.
Okay, that will be Cyrus.
Okay. She knocks on your door. It is very late at night.
Cyrus opens the door.
Astra has a squirrel on the bed. Can I sleep on your floor?
Like, there's probably mice on the floor, so.
Why don't you take the bed? I'll sleep on the floor.
Okay. Comes in.
He's used to roughhousing it.
Volga
Also-
is just enjoying his room on his own.
Also, she's like, because she's like kind of half out of bed, she's like carrying the tank that usually goes on her back, like it's like a bag. It's like sets it on the floor, like lays down.
Of like when she says, "Can I sleep in your room?" And he's just like, I kind of wanted my own space, but she's hardly. I guess it'll be fine. Sure.
I just love that, like, the way of, like, you know, you're just like, you're like, she's tiny but also horrifying, and it's like,
Barros is just in his room.
She doesn't say another word to you, she just walks in, curls up, and immediately falls asleep.
Alrighty. And with that, you all bed down and you get a long rest. You all level up
Level up, baby!
to level 2. And I think that is a good place to stop the night. Thank you so much.
Ooh.
Bye.